Hey, Froggy friends, Kirostyle here. Welcome back to. Well, I was gonna say welcome back to my trip, but that doesn't make sense. Welcome back to the channel. Happy New Year! Thank you so much for stopping by. It's been a while since our last stream, hasn't it? Hope you guys are all doing well. Hope you had a restful Christmas and Happy New Year. As you know, I was on a trip last week, and I just got back on Sunday. And I've been wanting to stream like all week, but I was like, I gotta finish this slideshow so we could talk about my trip. And if I don't do this, I'm gonna keep procrastinating and putting it off. So I spent all week putting together this slideshow, and I have so many pictures. I have like 2,500 and more pictures. So I was going through them and organizing them, doing some light edits, like making sure I blur out people's faces if anyone's faces appear. And even now, as of yesterday, I spent like 2 evenings working on the slideshow, and I had only finished like 3 out of 8 days on the slideshow. So today, right before stream, I was like adding day 4, and that's why stream is a little late, because I was still adding like pictures from day 4. I'm not even sure if we're gonna get to day 4 today. There's so much to talk about. I think I'll at least need 2 streams to talk about this trip. I don't think I'll need 3. But we'll see. I have a lot to say, but it's really exciting stuff, so I'm really excited to share, because a lot of stuff happened. Yeah, welcome in, everyone. Thank you so much for coming by. It's good to see you. Sai, welcome in. Aru, thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you so much for the sub. Thank you so much for 46 months of support. I really appreciate it. You're so sweet to me. Ash, welcome in. Cole, hello, hello. Lork, welcome in. Hakase, it's good to see you. Glad you could make it. Yule, it's good to see you. Welcome in. Hope you guys are all doing well. Yeah, it's been a while since our last stream, and yeah, I've been itching to stream all week, and it actually didn't take me too long to get over my jet lag. I think I slept for like 1 day, and then I was fine, but I was still tired for the rest of the week, because I think I just had like a lot of sleep debt from the trip, so I spent a lot of extra time sleeping and also working on the slideshow, in addition to also like working my regular job. So it's been a ride. I'm super excited to talk about this stuff. I've been like going over things in my head because I haven't written a script or anything like that, but I've so much to say and so many pictures to go through, and I'm really excited because it's almost like I'm walking through the trip again with you guys. So I'm really excited to do that. And Kieran, welcome in. Thank you so much for the sub. Thank you so much for 36 months. You're my best friend. So yeah, went to Tokyo like a week ago, and I was there for like, I guess like 9 days, but it's more like 8, less than 8 if you count the travel time. And I had a really good time. I've been wanting to go back to Japan for a really long time. The last time I went, I was still very young. Went with my family, didn't really appreciate it, wasn't really as prepared for the trip. So now it's like, okay, I know things I want to do. I've just been waiting at the right time to do it. ACB, welcome in. So let's go through, and hopefully I remember everything I want to say. We did a lot of stuff, and it's been a lot of fun. So this is like the itinerary of what we did. Oh, I should hide myself so you can actually read this. We did a lot of stuff. So day 0 is like arrival day. We didn't really get much done on arrival day because, of course, we're just getting settled in. First day after that, went to Granblue Fantasy Fest, which was super fun. I never thought I'd actually get to see a Granblue Fest in person. A lot of stories there. Then we went to Odaiba, and that was pretty cool. The next day, we explored Shibuya, and we went to the Tales of Series 30th Anniversary Museum. And then we explored a little bit of Ikebukuro. If you're wondering why Ikebukuro appears so many times on this itinerary, it's because we were staying near Ikebukuro, which means that a lot of our between times was spent there looking around, shopping, eating, etc. Day 3, we went to Winter Comiket, which was also very fun. So I have a lot to talk about when it comes to Granblue Fest and Winter Comiket. So I think that's why these first few days took so long to put together the slideshow, because there was just so much stuff to talk about. Day 4, continued exploring more Ikebukuro. We went to Capcom Creative Museum and a brief stop in Shinjuku. On day 5, it was New Year's Day. That was January 1st. So we went to visit a shrine, and we visited Akihabara, and we went to Eorzea Cafe. The next day, we went to Tokyo Skytree Town, and went back to Akihabara and went to Grand Cipher Kitchen. Day 7 was pretty packed. We went to Tokyo Skytree, we explored Tokyo Dome City, we went to the Suikoden Anniversary Museum, and we went to a DDT event. DDT is Dramatic Dream Team. It's a Japanese wrestling group. So we went to a wrestling event live, which was super cool. And then day 8 was departure day. So like 9 days if you count day 0, plus all the travel time. A lot of stuff happened, and it was really fun. It was really fun. So I went on the trip with 2 amazing individuals. We went with Atelier Kieran, my best friend, fellow streamer, professional voice actor. Go check him out. You might recognize his voice from games like Fire Emblem Heroes, or anime like Seven Deadly Sins, or Sanda. He's super cool. We've been friends for a few years now. We met through streaming. And in 2024, wow. 2024 feels so long ago when I say it out loud like that. But in 2024, I visited him in Los Angeles, and we had a great time. So we've been wanting to go to Japan for a while. He goes to Japan every couple years, so he's pretty experienced going there, and his Japanese is much better than mine, so he is able to help navigate and guide us around. So he is like our guide, and so that was really helpful because, of course, going back there on my own would have been a lot tougher. So now that I've gone with Kieran, I feel a lot more confident again, because again, it's been a long time. We also went with our friend Lork Demper, or Larky D, friend of the channel. He's been a member of the channel for a while, and we became friends. I made him a moderator on the channel. He's been awesome. When I visited Kieran back in 2024, I found out that Lork also lived in the California area, which I didn't know at the time. So we actually met up with him a couple times, and it was really fun, and he was very sweet to me. And so since I left, Kieran and Lork have hung out a couple times, and Kieran mentioned to him, oh, about going to Japan, and would you like to come? And so we kind of came together and was like, hey, let's have this trip together. So that was really cool. It wasn't really something I expected to happen, especially so soon at the time of planning. So, of course, we went during Christmas time, and I don't usually travel during Christmas time. I usually save most of my traveling for summer, or sometimes during the spring. Christmas time is a lot busier and a lot more hectic, and as a Canadian, I don't like traveling during Christmas because of the snow and ice. A lot of times, airplanes will get delayed or canceled, or getting to the airport is fraught with danger sometimes with all the ice on the freeway. So I don't like traveling during Christmas season, personally. Also, Christmas season is a lot shorter because, of course, I have to get back to work usually in early January. So I try not to travel during Christmas season. But this time, this was the best time for all of us. So we made it work. And actually, like at the beginning, I was a bit scared about traveling during Christmas, but everything worked out in the end, which was great. So before we went on the trip, there's like preparations to be made. And so if you're planning to go to Japan anytime soon, some things that I would highly recommend. So for one thing, when you go through Japanese immigration, you need to either fill out a customs form, or you need to go online on your phone and fill out this thing on the website and get a QR code. And I highly recommend doing that because it saves you a lot of time, and it just means that when you go through customs, they just scan your QR code and you go. Super easy. When I was flying in, the flight attendants were handing out the customs forms for people that didn't have the QR codes, but if you have a QR code, you don't need to fill that out. Which is great because I had some family members go to Japan a few months ago, and they went to Osaka, and they went on a different airline, and they were not informed about this ahead of time. Like, the flight attendants did not give them custom forms at all. They did not know about the QR codes. When they landed, there was like a huge bottleneck of people trying to fill this thing out and get through customs. So it was like a long time getting through the airport for them. And also tricky because, of course, the language barrier. So it was unfortunate for them that they had to experience that. So I recommend saving yourself the trouble and doing that. Oh, they didn't give out customs forms on your flight either, Lork? Yeah, so I think it depends on your flight. They offered it on my flight, but I know they don't always do that. So if you don't know about this, it is a big help. So go fill out that QR code ahead of time. The other thing is, of course, when you travel in Japan, you probably want a transit card to get through the subway and the train. So I recommend this Welcome Suica card, which is like, there's like the Suica card, which is the green one here. And that's the one that most people, well, I'm not sure most people, but a lot of people use them in Japan. But the Welcome Suica is like a visitor's version of it. It's good for 30 days, and it's red, and it's pretty handy. We usually, when you get to the airport, when you get to the train station, there's like a little red booth where you can buy this, which is helpful. You can also get this ahead of time on your phone, so you can just like tap your phone instead. But I think it only works on Apple devices, because I tried doing it on mine, which is an Android, and then I found out it's not on like the Play Store. I think it's only on Apple Store. And I read online that like there's a reason for that. There's a technical reason for that. But if you can get it ahead of time, that might save you some trouble looking for it in the airport. There's also this app here called NaviTime. This is the icon here. It's blue. Super useful app. What you do is you enter like where you are at the time and where you want to go, and then it tells you which trains to take, which platforms to go to, etc., and how long it will take. And so, of course, with Japan, there's so many trains. If you want to get from one place to another, it really helps to know which platforms to go to, which train lines you need, and this app will do that for you. So download the app ahead of time, super useful. Of course, Kieran was our navigator, so he just used it a lot too. So, other thing, of course, you probably want data when you're in Japan. Now, my phone is an old phone, which means I don't do eSIMs, unfortunately. My phone's like the model like right before they introduced eSIMs, unfortunately. I haven't gotten a new phone because my phones serve me very well. And also, I don't want to reset up my two-factor authentication on everything yet. So I got a physical SIM card. I ordered it online. And I actually ordered one that had like a special plan that it's like, it gave me like 1 day of data in North America and then like 15 days of data in Japan. So you can test it on your phone before you go, and then go to Japan and then get your data, which is really useful. More on that later. I have a story about that later, but these are some preparations that would really help if you were to go to Japan, I would say. In addition, if you're going to any like events like Granblue Fest, for example, you can buy your tickets online, and that's really helpful too. I mean, you kind of have to buy them earlier, but that's also the thing. So let's talk about the trip. So, like I said, I left right after Christmas. I left on Boxing Day, December 26th, and I don't like going to the airport in the snow. It's awful. It's like slippery, it's icy, like there's accidents everywhere. It is a pain in the ass. So first of all, I get a message saying my flight's been delayed an hour. So I'm like, okay, great. Originally it was like 1 o'clock or something like that, and so it got moved back to 2 o'clock. I was like, okay, whatever. As long as it doesn't get canceled. That was what I was afraid of. I didn't want it to get canceled, which happens a lot in the winter in Canada. So I get to the airport, and it's pretty smooth. I thought the airport would be kind of busy. I just fly straight through security. There's like no one there. And so I get to my gate, and I'm waiting. You know, flight's been delayed, whatever. Kieran and Lork are already on their flight, or getting ready to get on their flight. And they're supposed to land like an hour before me or something like that. And so they were leaving a bit before me. So I'm sitting there, and the flight, it's getting close to departure time, and it's still we're not boarding yet. So I'm like, oh great, it's delayed again. So we finally start boarding, and it takes so much longer to board than we think. And then we're sitting there in the plane, and then they're like, not moving for a while. And then they're like, we gotta de-ice the plane. So we like taxi onto the runway, and then they start de-icing the plane. Now, again, I've never flown during the Christmas season before, so I know what de-icing is. I've just never seen it, I guess, in person. So this giant set of cranes comes over, and they start spraying the plane down with this fluid. And the fluid is kind of nasty looking. It's kind of brownish, and it makes all the wings kind of muddy looking. So they were like spraying it down, and then they give it like a couple coats, and then they start spraying it down with this green liquid, which kind of mixes with it and turns like a highlighter yellow. And they're like spraying down the plane, and then so that takes quite a bit of time. We're like there for like an extra like 30 to 60 minutes. So by now we're like, flight was already delayed an hour, and then it was like another like 2 hours of getting on the plane and then sitting on the runway and waiting for them to de-ice the plane. So finally we start flying, and I'm like, gosh, like I'm gonna be keeping Kieran and Lork waiting for so long, because I was already landing after them, and then now I had been stuck there for so long. It was a very tiring day. It made of course it's a long flight, so I was already like, I was getting more tired. The day was getting so much longer because of this. And I was like, okay, well, as long as my flight takes off, as long as it's not canceled, I'm happy. That's the best I can ask for as a Canadian flying on Boxing Day. Hey, Drago, welcome in. Yeah, it's a lot of antifreeze. It's kind of cool, though, because once you start taking off, I was sitting near the wing, obviously, so I could just watch all the green stuff just, like, fly off the plane. I don't know what that does for the environment, but it was just all the green stuff was just flying off the plane as we were going, and there we go. So flight, all right, and honestly, flight not that bad, because last year I went to Australia, and that's like an extremely long flight. So ever since then, flights that are long but not as long as that feel short. I remember when I was a kid going to Asia, that flight felt super long. But now, by comparison, going to Australia, which is so much longer, it's like, okay, I can go to Asia and it's fine. It's fine. So I'm on the plane, and I don't like bringing my electronics with me. Sometimes I'll bring my Nintendo Switch, but it's not comfortable to play on the plane. I don't like worrying about bringing it along. So, I'm looking at what they have on the plane TV to watch. And I don't really sleep well on planes, so that was already kind of ruled out. They didn't really have that much selection compared to my flight to Australia, I found. And so also, like, watching things on the plane is usually just, of course, is not as enjoyable as watching things in the comfort of your home or in the movie theater. And I don't really watch too many movies or TV shows, honestly. I play video games, don't really watch TV shows or movies. I do go and watch Marvel movies with my friends because they're Marvel fans, so we'll go watch that. But other than that, I don't really watch movies. So whenever I go on a trip, which is like maybe once a year, it's kind of my time to catch up on movies that I'm kind of interested in seeing but never went to go see. So last time when I went to Australia, I watched The Last of Us Season 1. Season 2 was not out at the time. And so I was like, well, I could watch Season 2. Problem is with The Last of Us is every episode, I mean, I know what happens. I play the games, but the episodes are quite long. They're like 50 minutes each, and they're also really depressing and sad. So I was like, do I want to watch Last of Us Season 2, which is more depressing and more sad? And I was like, maybe. Well, that's how you watch the Minecraft movie trick. I was going to watch the Minecraft movie as well. It was tempting, but I didn't end up watching the Minecraft movie. So first I started off by watching The Paper, which was like on the recommended list. And so The Paper, if you don't know, is like the sequel to The Office. And I love The Office. I love Parks and Recreation. I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Obviously, it's been a long time since The Office came out. And so I was curious about The Paper. I knew it probably wouldn't be as good as The Office, but it's got a lot of the same writers. But I know they're going for something different. So I started watching it. I actually started watching it as they were de-icing the plane. I was going to wait until we took off, but it took so long to take off. So I started watching it. And it's nice because it's just like a workplace comedy. So, casual, easy to watch, doesn't really, you can just kind of turn your brain off and watch. It was okay. It wasn't really funny. I didn't really laugh. I guess the characters are charming. They only had 5 episodes on the plane. I think there's 9 episodes out, so I only watched 5 episodes. It was okay, but definitely going for a different feel. So I didn't really, I wouldn't recommend it to people. But then again, The Office, Parks and Rec, and Brooklyn Nine-Nine all had rough first seasons, so who knows, right? So I watched The Paper, and I was like, okay. Hey, Agora, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. So then I start watching The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 1, and just like I knew, it was super depressing, super kind of tense, slow at times, and I was like, Okay, I can't spend more of the flight watching this. It's like I will get sad and depressed if I keep watching The Last of Us. So I put that on the back burner. I watched the first episode of season 2. I put it on the back burner. Spoiler alert, I end up watching the rest of it on the flight back. Next I watch Flow, and I've been wanting to watch this movie for a while. I heard really good things about this movie. If you don't know what Flow is, it's an animated movie about a cat and a bunch of other animals. And the interesting thing about the movie is that there's no talking. The whole movie is just animal sounds. It's the animals communicating with animal sounds. And so it's kind of about like these animals, and the planet's starting to get flooded, so then they have to like survive on a little boat and work together and get along. And it's like an artistic movie, and it's a foreign film, and it was super cool. But of course, there was no talking, so there were times where I felt kind of sleepy-ish during it, but I can't actually sleep on planes. So I can feel sleepy, but I won't fall asleep on the plane. So I was watching it, and it was actually a really good movie. I really recommend it. But of course, if you're being on the plane, maybe not as enjoyable. But it was a cool movie, very artistic. So I get to the last leg of the flight, and I'm like, okay, I can't fall asleep. I need something to keep myself awake or like lucid. And so I'm like looking through the catalog, and I come across Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. And I actually wanted to watch this when it came out. I know some people don't like the new Indiana Jones movies, and I get it. But I was like, I kind of want to watch this. It looks kind of fun. So I watch it, and it was pretty good. And because it's an Indiana Jones movie, it's like non-stop action happening. So it kept me awake pretty well. I actually woke up pretty well watching this because something was always happening. There was always some cool action scene happening, which was pretty fun. So I watched Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. It's not like super amazing, but it was like fun enough to keep me awake. So finally watched that. Great. That about takes me to the end of the flight. Oh yeah, so also they serve food, of course, on the flight, and they gave us dinner. The dinner was teriyaki beef, the first one, and I was actually quite impressed. The teriyaki beef was actually pretty good for airline food. The second one, which was like a light meal, was they gave us like fried rice, and it was like the most tasteless fried rice I've ever had in my life. It was so bad. I would have preferred to eat plain white rice than this fried rice they gave us. And I was like, okay, whatever. I'm hungry. I'll eat it. And so, and if you know me on flights, I don't like getting up on a flight, right? So I always get the window seat, and even for long flights, I'll just stay there in the corner in the window for the whole time, and I won't get up from my seat. I don't like making other people move for me. I don't like getting up and moving around. So I just stay hunkered down at the window the whole time. And I'm fine, actually. This time, I didn't actually really eat that much before getting on the plane. So the 2 meals they gave us was just enough to keep me going without feeling hungry and without making me feel like I had to go to the washroom. So I just kind of hunkered down and stayed there the whole time. So finally, it's time to land. And I think we get there around like 6 p.m. Japan time, give or take. I don't remember the timeline anymore because everything got delayed so many times. So we arrive. It's quite dark. It's nighttime there. I am landing at Narita Airport. So there's like 2 main airports in Tokyo, Narita and Haneda. Narita's like a little bit outside of Tokyo, so you have to train in to the heart of Tokyo, which takes about an hour. I'm welcomed by Mario and the gang. They're welcoming me to Japan, and then I'm also welcomed by Hatsune Miku and Hello Kitty. Oh, you guys can't see Hello Kitty. There she is, welcoming me to Japan, and it was a pretty friendly airport. Most of the people there had passing knowledge of English, which was nice. So again, QR code. I just blast through the customs and all that stuff. Unfortunately, my luggage is like the last one to come off the plane. I've kind of gotten to the habit of only traveling with like just personal item and carry-on. But for this longer trip, I was like, I'll do a checked bag. Plus, it was included in my flight. So I was like, I did a checked bag. And it was like the last one to come off the plane. I was so worried. I was like, is my luggage going to come? Also, my Japanese SIM card wasn't working. I tried troubleshooting all the things that came with the manual. Didn't work. Like I told you, my SIM card came with 1 day of North American data, so it was working before I left, and it just didn't work when I was landed, and like I had a little guide on things to troubleshoot, and I tried a few of them, but honestly, it's just not comfortable doing it. I just landed, I'm tired, I don't have that much space to work with, so I'm like, I tried my best, and I'm like, it's still not working. Whatever. So I connect to the free Wi-Fi at the airport, and I get in contact with Kieran and Lork. They landed, they've been here, well, not at that airport, they were at the other airport. They've been in Tokyo for about an hour, and they were just leaving the airport. And so I was like, okay, great. So we got to meet up. That's the hard part. I was very worried about meeting up with them because, again, I was coming from a different airport than them. And if I didn't have data, that meant that I could only rely on free Wi-Fi. So we already made plans ahead of time where to meet. But of course, things always change. So I was like, okay, I got to do my best. We got to meet up. That's like the most stressful part. I did see they were selling SIM cards at the airport, so I could have done that. But I was like, I already bought one, and I'm sure I can get this working with a couple of days of troubleshooting. I don't want to pay more. We're gonna try this without it. So I was like, okay, free Wi-Fi, connect. We do all that stuff, and then great. So I get to the train terminal at the airport, and so to take the train from Narita Airport to Tokyo, you take the Keisei Skyliner, and so you have to buy a ticket, and you can just buy it at the counter there, which is preferred because you don't know when you're going to land if you buy a ticket ahead of time. They are reserved seats. So I go to the counter, I buy my ticket, and I also go to buy my Suica card at the little booth. So I have my ticket, I have my thing, and I go and I start walking towards the wrong platform because the signage was a little confusing. So I eventually get to a point where I tap my ticket and the thing beeps at me, and then the guard tells me that I'm going to the wrong platform. So I get to the right platform, my train leaves in like 15 minutes, so I have time, I get there, I get on my seat. There's like an area when you get on the train where you can put your luggage down, which I saw everyone doing, but you can also bring your luggage to your seat. There's enough like leg space so you can do that. So I would recommend doing that personally. I don't like having my luggage out of my sight, but you can also do that too. Luckily, the train has Wi-Fi. Hallelujah. So I connect to the Wi-Fi. I'm still able to contact Kieran and Lork for now. So we take the train, and the train is about an hour long. And I want to make sure that I get off at the right stop because there's a couple stops. So our adventure begins. Hey Luke, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. So, okay, first of all, the Japan train system is very robust. There's so many trains, and this is like a partially simplified map. I tried so hard to find a good map to show you guys to explain my story, but like there's so many maps out there, and if you look at the official one, it's like there's so many lines on it, and it still doesn't have all the lines on it. There's still like some minor train lines that are not on the map. So I have to like, and then there's some of them that are like super simplified, but they're so simplified that they don't have the airport terminal on it, because the airport terminal is technically a different line. So I right before, when I'm making this slideshow, I had to go through like many different versions of the Japanese subway map to find the right one to show my story. So and even so, like the official one, there's a couple lines that we used a lot that don't even have the stations listed on the official map because it's just too much. It's just a line coming out of the station, so it's a lot. That's why I tell you, use that Navitime app. It's super useful. Hey Luke, welcome in, and thank you so much for the sub. I really appreciate it. Good to see you too. Okay, so I get on at Narita, which is up here circled in red, and I take the train down the green line, and my goal is to get to Nippori. And at Nippori, I can switch to this green circle here, and I'm meeting Kieran and Lork at Ikebukuro. Originally, we were going to meet at a different station that was smaller, because Ikebukuro is huge, so it's going to be hard to find them there. But because they got here late, and I got here late, and so they are already on their way to try to get to the Airbnb to figure out where we're staying, and then they're going to come back and meet me. So my goal is to go to Nippori and then get to Ikebukuro. So I get to Nippori fine. When I get off the train, I lose my Wi-Fi. So I'm on my own after that, because the Wi-Fi is just on the train. So I switched lines, and so I have my Suica card and I have my train ticket. So I use the train ticket to get out of the airport Keisei line, and then I get onto the Yamanote line, which is like this green circle here at Nippori. So I switch lines, and then I take the train over to Ikebukuro. So great. I have to watch for my stop and make sure I get off at the right stop. So luckily, most of the time when they call the stops, they have the Japanese name and also the English text on the screen. But you still got to pay attention. So I'm like, getting to Ikebukuro. Okay, good. I get to Ikebukuro and I'm like, okay, I have to meet up with Kieran and Lork. I had to find a way to contact them because last time I was on the train, when I got off the airport train, I told Kieran, okay, I'm getting on at Nippori, I'm gonna be at Ikebukuro soon. So, like, at least that gave him an estimate. And so I get off and I walk around a bit, I figure out how to get off the platform. Lo and behold, there's a place of free Wi-Fi. Hallelujah. I connect to the free Wi-Fi. And I message them, and then they say, okay, we're coming. Now, due to some miscommunication, I then moved to the place that we were supposed to meet at, and then I was standing there for like 15 or 20 minutes. No Kieran, no Lork, and I'm like, oh. Am I at the right place? And technically I was at the right place. So I check my phone, and I don't have Wi-Fi anymore. So I have to walk all the way back to the place where I got off the platform, and okay, my Wi-Fi comes back. So whatever free Wi-Fi I'm using is probably from one of the businesses near there. So okay, I'm texting them. I'm like, okay, I don't know where you are. So I try to explain to them where I am. I stay where I am. Still no Kieran and Lork. So I'm like, okay, what do I do? So we back and forth a couple times, and then finally, I'm like, okay. And a couple times I wander away again to try to find them. Lose Wi-Fi, and then I have to come back to my spot to try to get the Wi-Fi back to contact them. So eventually, we do meet up. And Kieran and Lork by that time have already gone to the Airbnb. They've already dropped off their luggage. So it's just me with my one luggage, which, according to them, their story of getting the luggage there was awful because each of them had 2 pieces of large luggage. And I only had 1 small luggage. So for me, it was a lot easier. But for them, they were lugging around 2 big pieces of luggage each, plus like their backpacks and carry-ons and stuff. So they had quite the time. I'm sure Kieran could tell you about whatever story that they had. But for me, it was like, okay, I met with them, and then we were on our way. We took another line out of Ikebukuro. It's like a smaller line that's not on this map. And we get to our Airbnb. So this is a picture of the neighborhood where our Airbnb is. This is actually taken the next day because, of course, we got here at night. So this is a picture of the neighborhood during the day. And it was nice. It was quaint. It was quiet. It was near a train station, which was advantageous to us. But the owner did warn us that it would be possibly noisy because of the train. But it actually didn't bother us at all. And we were also like on top of a local pub or bar. So the owner said that it might get noisy, but honestly, not a problem. I didn't hear a peep from that bar except for a couple times at night. So we get there, and then we drop off my luggage, and then it's time to go get some food. We haven't eaten at all since we landed. Kieran gave me some loot that he'd been holding on to me for a while. So a while ago, I found this Ire standee from Granblue Fantasy on Mercari, and I hadn't seen it before, and I wanted it, and it was a good price. But Mercari doesn't ship to Canada, so I asked to ship to Kieran, and then he would give it to me. And then also, Kieran gave me this autograph from Lotus Juice that he got from a con. He happened to be there, and Lotus Juice was there, and he was doing autographs, and he got me an autograph, so that was cool. So he gave me the Shikashi board with Lotus Juice's signature on it. That was cool. Very cool of you, Kieran. Thank you. So we walk over, and luckily there's convenience stores near our Airbnb. 7-Eleven, wonderful place of convenience in Japan. Much different than your 7-Elevens in America. Or as they call it here, 7 & I Holdings, the full name. Lots of cool stuff at the convenience store. I get a fruit sandwich. I've been wanting to eat a fruit sandwich for a while. I get a yakisoba pan. Excellent. We look for some other food. Also, the convenience stores are super convenient because you can print off tickets. So, like, for example, Kieran bought, like, our Granblue tickets and stuff, our Tales Museum tickets online, and you just need to go to a convenience store and just print it off, which is super nice. So, a lot of stuff you can do there. You can even, like, pay your bills at the convenience store in Japan if you wanted. So we go to 7-Eleven, we get some food, and then we also go down the street. There's a Family Mart, and I get some yakisoba, and Kieran also buys us all Famichiki. So all the convenience stores in Japan have their own like fried chicken, and so the fried chicken at Family Mart is called Famichiki, and then the one from 7-Eleven is called Nanachiki. Nana means 7. So the Famichiki was quite good, actually. I was very impressed by how good that fried chicken was for like convenience store chicken. It was great. I had my fruit sandwich, which was delicious. I put my yakisoba pan in the fridge. I ate my yakisoba here. That was our first meal in Japan. It was great. And then we finally all go to sleep. So our Airbnb is also quite small. I think it's for one person, it's fine. I think for 2 people, it's like just right. 3 people is quite tight. So we are quite packed into this Airbnb, but we're all super tired. So we finally just go and have a sleep. And thus ends our first day of Japan. Second day, Granblue Fantasy Fest. And we were super excited to go. It was kind of by coincidence that this was happening. Like, we didn't go on our trip because Granblue Fest was happening. It was like we planned our trip and we were like, okay, we can all go during this winter season. And just so happens that Granblue Fest is happening at the same time. So, like, let's go, right? And so I've always wanted to go to Granblue Fest. I never thought I'd ever actually go because it's like all Japanese. So unlike at the airport where like everyone knew a little bit of English, like there's like no English at Granblue Fest. Also, we're arriving there for Granblue Fest day 2. So Granblue Fest is 2 days, and we arrived for day 2. Just because of timing, we weren't able to come on our trip a day earlier to get to Granblue Fest day 1. So we're only going for day 2, which is fine. We just want to see the sights, right? Hey Jinju, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. So, Granblue Fest, Kieran has already procured our tickets from the 7-Eleven. Great. We hop on the train and we start going to Granblue Fantasy Fest. So, if you don't know what Granblue Fantasy Fest is, so Granblue Fantasy is a mobile game made by Cygames. You might know it from Granblue Versus or Granblue Relink, which are like spin-offs of it. Every year they have Granblue Fantasy Fest. And they also have the Granblue Fantasy Extra Fest, which is in the summer. But Granblue Fantasy Fest is during the winter, and it's like their big event. A lot of cool stuff to see there. There's like new announcements for the new year, lots of loot, all that stuff. So this is the key art for this year. Every year they draw the main characters, Gran and Jita, in a different outfit. So this year they did our like the new outfits that they released for the Guild Wars farming. And I actually really like this outfit on them, so it's actually really good. It's also a really good year because this was the 12th year of Granblue Fantasy, so they just released their 12th Zodiac character, and also just concluded the main story in Granblue. So it's like a really good time, I think. It was very well timed. This is the key art for this year. A lot of the characters they released this year, as well as ones who got some spotlights in the stories this year. So these are the main characters that appear in a lot of the key art for the merch for Granblue Fantasy Fest this time. So off we go. We stop by the convenience store first to get some breakfast. I grabbed some thick cut French toast with fresh cream, and it was actually quite good. It was quite good. We take the train to Tokyo Big Sight, which is where Granblue Fest is. Beautiful scenery. The rivers are so nice and calm there. The weather was beautiful. Like for me, like it's Japan winter, right? Which is like 15 degrees Celsius, which is for me, that's like super warm. That's like nice. That's like I don't even need a jacket. I could wear like a hoodie or like a light jacket if I need to. But you know, Canadians built different, right? So I know Lork and Kieran were a little different on that. But for me, I was like, this is great weather. This is so nice and warm. So we get on the train, we get to Granblue Fantasy Fest. And this is at Tokyo Big Sight, which is a cool looking convention center, the biggest one there. There's a train station right attached to it. And there's like a giant saw in the ground, like a giant statue of a giant saw in the ground, which is pretty iconic. It was a very cool place to be. So this is Tokyo Big Sight. We get there about half an hour after the doors open, which is fine. And actually, there weren't that many people outside. It also helped that it was kind of colder outside too, so people didn't want to hang out there. So we get there, we take some pictures, and then we start trying to find out the entrance. And it's quite a walk to the entrance. Which is kind of nice because it spreads people out and also just makes it easier to keep the crowd controlled, right? So we go through, and then they give us like our bracelets. They give us like a free loot bag, and we head in, and we're greeted by the sight of like all the like dioramas they put up. So there's this like train station as we get in. There's like an archway. There's videos playing in the background of Granblue. People everywhere, but it's not really crowded. There's people everywhere, but it's super manageable. And there's Granblue music playing. There's like on our way to get the tickets, like we hear voiceovers of like Lyria and Vern and Cagliostro over the speakers, like welcoming us to the fest. It was really cool. And even after we got our bracelets, it was quite a walk to get to the exhibition hall, which is, again, it was kind of nice because it spread people out naturally, so there wasn't like a big crowd. And we got to the main hall, and it was super cool. So our first order of business was to get ourselves oriented and then also buy some merch. So that was kind of the big first order of business. Hey Burr, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. It was a really cool building. They had a lot of really cool stuff to see. So one of the things they had was on the walls, they had a big timeline of everything that has happened in Granblue by year and month. So it shows like the release of new characters, it shows the events, it shows like which collabs they did, which merch came out that year, which art book came out, which music came out, which outfits or classes were introduced for Gran and Jita. So it's super cool. So we're just kind of browsing around. This is what it looked like. It basically went all around the room and then loot back because there's a couple like partitions. On the back side of the archway, there's like artwork here. So we have artwork of various characters drawn by various artists, official artists. I took some close-ups of some of them, but not all of them. It was really nice. Everyone's around taking pictures. Everyone's a Granblue fan, obviously. Some of this art I also hadn't seen before, which is kind of cool. So it was really cute. And of course, there's like Granblue music playing the whole time. So we heard the music playing of like the general Granblue theme or like the Skyfaring theme and all that stuff too. It was a really nice environment. And there were cosplayers, like fan cosplayers around, and there are also like the official cosplayers too. So the first cosplayers we caught a glimpse of, we saw Cassius. He was posing up on the train station. And so the cosplayers, these are the official cosplayers. So they're like paid by the company, and they get escorted by a bunch of security guards who like make way for them to get from point A to point B, and then they usually like linger around an area for a while for people to take pictures. I have so much respect for these cosplayers because they are so in character, they're so expressive, and the thing is they're not allowed to talk because they don't have the voices of the characters, because the characters are obviously voiced by professional voice actors. So they just go around and they act in character, and then they just, let you take pictures of them, they'll do fun things, and then they leave. So they're very good at their job. So we see Cassius from a distance, take some pictures. We see Nehan leaving. We see Clarice being moved around. So that was pretty cool. This is the close-up of the train station. So when there's no official cosplayer on it, you can kind of walk up and just take pictures. You can pose. You can explore them yourself. There's also like the Granny cosplayer, which was a fan cosplaying as the Granny. I saw more pictures of her on Twitter afterwards, which is super fun. I'm glad we came across her because she's just a fun cosplay. If you know who the Granny is in Granblue, you understand. So yeah, this is the train station where all that was happening. So we go around and we still can't figure out how to buy merch yet. So we go around, we start taking pictures of some, like looking for our favorite characters on the timeline. So of course I go and find Ire. So Ire was released in 2016 in May. He was released like right after I started playing the game, and that's kind of what cemented me into playing the game more, was his release, which was closely followed by Jamil like half a month later. And then Summer Ire came out in 2017 during the summer. So I take pictures of that. Hey Become, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. I also took a picture of when Bowman was released, 2022, which I thought he was a lot more recent than that. A lot of times going through the timelines, we're like, wow, this is a lot more recent or further away than I thought. So Bowman, if you're a Granblue fan, you understand his relationship with Ire and why I like Bowman, but If you're not, it'll be a bit confusing. But anyways, I find Bowman. There's Jessica. She was released the same time. And then I also found the time when I started the game. So I started playing this game in 2016 in April when the second Street Fighter V collab came out. So that's when I started playing the game. And I was telling like Kieran and Lork about, back in my day, this is what happened in Granblue. These were the wild times. This is how the game was unbalanced. These are the characters that broke the game back then, etc., etc. Sounding like an old man. But it was kind of nice to reminisce and just see it all like laid out in front of you. So we start walking around and we're still trying to find out how to buy merch. So there's also like QR codes everywhere where you can like scan them. So basically the idea is you need Sky Compass on your phone. And so if you play Granblue, you can play Granblue on a browser, which is the preferred way to do it on Chrome. But there's also an app you can get on your phone to play it called Skyleap, which is like, it's basically just a custom internet browser for playing games. Problem is you can't get Skyleap directly from like Google Play Store. You have to like download the APK file and download it yourself. So there is a barrier of entry, although they did announce that they're adding Granblue to Steam, although you won't be able to link your accounts. Anyways, so Sky Compass is like a companion app for Granblue, and you can download it through Sky Compass, through Skyleap. So I have Skyleap on my phone, but I can't download Sky Compass because when I click on it, it says this is not available in your country because Canada or whatever. But Kieran and Lork are able to get it. So the idea is like once you get onto your Sky Compass, there's like a QR code where you can check in, and then there's like QR codes where you can scan and do like a scavenger hunt with like trivia questions and earn prizes and stuff like that too. It was a bit too complicated for us who weren't able to read the full Japanese of what was going on, so we didn't bother doing that. There's also like paid things that you can do when you need tickets ahead of time. So there's the VR scenario things where you have to buy a ticket ahead of time and then you do like a Granblue themed VR game. So this was the lineup for that. I do appreciate all the decorations here. Everything was decorated to look like the Grand Cypher, like a ship, an airship, which was pretty fun. So we keep walking and then we stumble across Cafe Millennium, which is like a counter where they serve coffee, but it's like a paid thing. So you need tickets ahead of time to get in. But basically the cool thing is you line up and then you get to the counter and then you're greeted by some of the official cosplayers who like serve you your coffee. So I've seen videos of Sandalphon doing it. When we stop by, Vayne and Lancelot are serving coffee there. How fortuitous, because Kieran was like, I only care about seeing the Vayne cosplayer, no one else. So we're like, okay, we're gonna find the Vayne cosplayer. So we found them. And I think you'll find this is a running theme of the entire trip, was very well timed and very lucky fate working in our favor. Just things that would happen with like the stars align and they'd be like perfect for us to exactly find what we needed. So here we have Cafe Millennium. We come across there's a girl being served coffee by Vayne and Lancelot. And again, these cosplayers are so good because they can't talk, right? They are only expressing through their expressions and their body language, and they're just so good at their job. Like, so much respect for these cosplayers. So everyone's gathered around snapping pictures of them serving the coffee, of course. And so we're like, okay, great. So we get in line. We're like trying to take pictures. The security's coming over to keep the crowd in line and be like, okay, you're like shove over this way, or like stop blocking the hallway. And so we're all like trying to take pictures and all that stuff. So it was really lucky, but it was like a lot of people there at the time. Yukio, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for the raid. I hope you're doing well. Please go check out our friend Yukio Prince when you get a chance. They are playing some Tales of Exillia Remastered. I hope you are enjoying that game. Thank you so much for stopping by. It's good to see you. I'm Kiro, the frog-themed martial artist. I recently went on a trip to Tokyo, so I'm talking about my trip, and we are talking about Granblue Fest. So you came at a great time. Welcome in. Yeah, perfect timing. Feel free to make yourself comfortable or go and take care of yourself after your stream. I appreciate you being here. Again, please go check out Yukio Prince, a Lamia Snow Prince VTuber. Super cool. Yeah, so we get to Cafe Millennium. We're snapping pictures of Vayne and Lancelot, and then suddenly all the security people come by and they're like, move, like make way, make way. We're like, oh, what's going on? And then Vayne and Lancelot start walking towards us. So we're like scrambling to take out our phones. I try snapping a couple pictures and I don't get any good pictures because I'm like scrambling to try to take the pictures. But Kieran gets a really good video, which he posted on Twitter, and I have it here so we can watch it again. He gets a really good video, and again, I want you to look at how great these cosplayers are at conveying their emotions through just their facial expressions and body language, because again, they don't speak, they can't speak. So there they are, Lance and Vayne. And I think the Vayne cosplayer is really good. He's got a really good smile. I'm so jealous of people that can have a nice photogenic face and a great smile. So they go through, they wave at us, and then they take off, and then security clears the path for them, and then we're able to keep walking. So we're like, okay, cool. Check that off the bucket list. We got to see the Vayne cosplayer. Awesome. So we keep walking around, and then we find there's like some sets that you can go to and take pictures with. So there's this August Isles set, the beach set here with like a grill and a boat. And the cool thing is, like, you can go and walk on this stuff. So like people are walking on the sand, taking pictures. Cosplayers are taking pictures. People are there with their like Granblue plushies, taking pictures of them, or like putting them on the boat and taking pictures. It's very cute. There's a few dioramas to do this, but this is kind of the biggest one. Very, very nice. We walk past this area, which is like the gacha game. You can go by, you can like buy a ticket, you line up, and then you like pull something from a treasure chest and you get like a random item in the game, which is pretty cool. We didn't really do it because it looked like there were instructions involved and we couldn't understand all the instructions. But the cool thing is when we came in, they gave us our goodie bag. We all each did get like a code that you can put into Granblue, into the game, to get like a free item. It was actually 2 free items. You could pick like gold brick, sunstone, lapis merit, arcarum items. So that was pretty cool. We already got that. But you can get more stuff here. You just got to pay and line up and do this. So we didn't do it, but we saw people doing it. It looked kind of fun. But again, there were a lot of Japanese instructions, and like nothing was in English here. So it was difficult for us to navigate. We were just trying to do our best. And we were still trying to find out how to buy stuff, because that was our major thing. So we finally come across the purchasing area. So there's this giant like cabinet with all the things you can buy at Granblue Fest here on display, and you can line up and basically go through and buy stuff. Now the problem is you need to set up an appointment to go buy stuff, so that way we don't have everyone rushing at the same time to buy stuff, right? Because obviously it'd be chaos. So we're like, okay, how do we make an appointment? So we go, there's like signs there. We're trying to read the signs. We don't know what we're doing, right? We're like, okay, how do we do this? And you can tell because there's like all these, you could tell who the foreigners are because all the foreigners are standing around like trying to figure out how to buy stuff. And then like, of course, all the Japanese people are just lining up perfectly and going in with their appointments. And we're like, how do we make an appointment? Where? Like, we're looking to see if there's a QR code. We're looking to see if there's like signage. We're like, how do we do this? Because our main goal was we want to buy stuff, right? And not only that, but I was buying stuff for like 3 people. Like 3 people, like friends, I had asked them and offered and been like, hey, what do you want me to buy for you from Granblue Fest? And so I had a shopping list of things, not only for myself, but for other people. And we're like, how do we get in? So we're like standing around for the longest time, trying to like figure this out, going through the app. I can't even download the app. There's other foreigners standing around cluelessly as well. The people there directing only speak Japanese, so we can't even ask them for help. So eventually I decide, no, we're gonna go to the information desk. Surely if there's someone here that speaks English, it would be at the information desk. So we go to the information desk and line up, and I take out my phone translator app and I type in like, hi, we're foreigners here, we don't speak Japanese, and we're trying to find out how to buy merch, right? And so you have to make an appointment, and you have to do it through Sky Compass app on your phone to pick a time slot. And we couldn't find out how to do that. And so we find out from the guy that apparently the reason why we can't find out how to do it is because all the appointments are gone. The appointments are sold out. And we're like, oh, like we were only there, like we were there half an hour after the gates opened. But I guess because everyone already signed up yesterday, right? Because this is the second day. So by like the first hour of today, all the slots were gone. So we're like, uh-oh, how do we buy stuff, right? And the guy tells us if you come back at like later in the day, usually there's like an open time where we just let everyone in when they line up. It's usually around 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, but he couldn't give us a definite time. So we're like, okay, so I guess our only hope is to come back at like 4 or 5 o'clock and pray. And so we know everyone's gonna rush for it too, right? It's gonna be a mess. We might not get in. Everything might be sold out. So we're like, but this is all we got, right? So we're like, oh, well, I guess we don't have a choice. And I was a little bummed out, but I was like, crossing my fingers. I was like, this will work out, right? Because I didn't even want that much merch for myself, but I wanted to get stuff for other people, and I was like, I wanted like a souvenir. So I was like, okay, cross our fingers. This is gonna happen. And like I said before, remember, the theme of this trip is fate. There were so many things that happened to us that were really lucky, and this was like the start of our string of luck. So stay tuned, but spoiler alert, the gods smile upon us. So we just walk around and we're like, okay, what do we do? Well, there's Grand Cypher Kitchen, and we can line up and get food. You don't need an appointment for that, and so we thought. We're like, okay, we don't need an appointment for this, right? We're like, we couldn't tell, right? But people were just walking into the line, so we're like, okay, good. It was quite a long line, but we're like, we have nothing else to do. We're stuck here till 4 or 5 o'clock, waiting for the merch to open. So it was like, what, 11, 12? I think it was more like closer to 12 by the time. So we're like, let's line up and get food. We haven't eaten yet. So we start lining up for food, and so there's like different things you can get. It's like a smaller menu than the Granblue Cafe or Grand Cypher Kitchen, but there's things you can get. Some of it's sold out, but for everything you buy, you get like a free coaster, like a random coaster. Everything's blind boxed here in Japan. So we look at here and like, so some things are sold out, but there's still food there, and we're like, okay, great. So it's kind of like you order at the counter, and then you get your food, and then there's like standing tables. It was still quite packed, but we line up and we start getting ready for our food. And we're just kind of like, oh, are we going to be able to order? Everything's Japanese. Like, how's this going to work? Like, Kieran's like rehearsing his Japanese and trying to figure out what we want. So we're like, we don't know how this is going to work. So we wait in line for a bit. And we're in line for like, what, like 60 to 90 minutes? Somewhere in that ballpark. We're in line for a while. But it's like moving at a pretty good pace. And there's like Granblue music playing. Everyone in line is just on their phones playing Granblue. Everyone's just sitting on their phones doing Granblue, obviously. So we're sitting there and enjoying our wait in the line. So I'm gonna show you the menu. So this is the official website for Granblue Fantasy Fest. So let's look at the menu. So food and drink menu. And again, like there was free Wi-Fi at the venue, but it was hard to connect to. It was kind of spotty. So these were some things that they were offering. So we have the Grand Cypher crew burrito wrap thing. This is Yatima's Hamburg steak. There's like stars on it. This is direct translation. This is direct translation. The name of this meal: Ragazzo's Black Hot Dog. Ragazzo's Black Hot Dog. That is officially what this meal is called. Like direct translated. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. This is Basara's Dango Sweets set. This is Sariel's Brownie. This is Yule's Takoyaki. This is Siofan's skewers or something like that. This is Lamarak's pasta. So you can tell that like if later in the streams when I go over like Grand Cypher Kitchen, like the meals there are a bit more decorative and fit the characters more, but this is like a shorthand version of their collab menu for the event, because these are obviously quicker to prepare and easier to make off with. And it's also the same company, Pacella. They're the ones who do all the collab cafe stuff, and they're quite good at it. This is Vern's apple pie. This was actually really cool. You could also get like little like bao buns with like a selection of like 5 or so characters on them. This is like the Sandalphon one. But there's like cookies, or I think there's like baos and cookies, but they were sold out of these, so obviously quite popular. More of that. Yeah, these were all sold out. So, and then the drinks. So this was like Gran Jita and Lyria's drink, which is blue. Siegfried's drink, and these ones all come with cup sleeves, so you get to keep the cup sleeves. This is Indala. So Indala is the snake zodiac, and so we were just ending the year of the snake, which is why she's featured in a lot of the stuff here. This is Frau's drink. Bice's drink. And Hauhet's drink. So that's our menu. And you get free coaster randomized for every item that you buy. And then there's also the cafe, of course. Okay, so we get in line and we're getting ready to order. You know, all the cookies and baos are sold out. So it's quite busy, and it's very well organized. I think a running theme for all the things that we went to on this trip was everything was very well organized. So there was like the menu up on display here. There's like different numbers for the cashiers and different numbers for the pickup windows. So you get to the front of the line and then you can order. So the way it was is like once you get closer to the front of the line, also, oh yeah, so also in the back you can see all the people preparing the food, and it's all like, you know, again, these meals are easier to prepare and don't take as long to decorate. So they're very like, it's like an assembly line. They're like quickly preparing all these meals for the people, and they're very efficient about it, actually. I was very impressed with them. Oh yeah, while we were waiting in line, I also saw the cosplay booths. So basically in Japan, when you go to conventions most of the time, you don't wear your cosplay to the convention, you bring your cosplay to the convention, you change, and they have like changing rooms for the cosplayers, which I think is really cool, because when I used to cosplay, which I didn't do much of, I would try to bring all my stuff. I would wear what I could, like boots or like the undershirt or whatever, and then I would bring the rest of my stuff in my bag, because I was like a closeted otaku, and I would only do this with my friends anyways. And then I would, you know, bring my stuff to the con, and then I would change in the washroom and come out. And it wasn't very comfortable, but to have like a designated location for people to do that was kind of cool. So it's not really in their culture to walk around in your cosplay like on the street or on the train to get to the place. So I thought that was kind of cool. And again, a running theme among all the things that we did. So we get to the front, or we get near the front of the line, and then they give us these clipboards, which is fantastic. So the clipboards have a little sheet of paper, they have pictures, they crossed out all the things that were unavailable. So by the time we got to the front of the line, there were no more burritos, there were no more dangos, there were no more skewers, there were no more yakitori. So we get up to the front, and then luckily, you know, there's everything's named on the sheet, everything's named on the checklist, there's pictures, the prices are listed there, so you just check off what you want and how much of each thing. Super, super efficient. Again, a very running theme. So we get to the front, we check off what we want, you bring your thing to the counter, the cashier adds it up, they charge you, and then you get a number, then you go to the window, and then the person takes your ticket, looks at what you ordered, puts it all on the tray, double checks so you have it, and then bingo bango, you got your food. Fantastic. We're very lucky that one of the tables was cleared, so we go and grab a table, because otherwise it's all standing space with standing tables, but they're all packed, and everyone's like taking their time and taking pictures and stuff. So I ordered 3 things. I think all of us got 3 things each, and I really wanted the Gran coaster, but I got Jita, Indala, and Vern, but Lork was super, super nice and traded me his Gran for the Indala, so Thank you so much, Lork. You were very nice, and I'll never forget that. So he traded me the Grand Coaster, and so we all got Ragazzo's black hot dog. All three of us got Ragazzo's black hot dog. We got different drinks and we got different desserts. So I got the Vern's apple pie, and Lork got the apple pie, and Kieran got Sariel's brownie. So Sariel's brownie is here in the middle. I got the Grand drink, which it was quite pretty. It was blue. There was like purple jelly at the bottom. There was like coconut flakes sprinkled on top. Lork got Howhett's drink, and Kieran got Siegfried's drink. So here's a picture of our food. And in like all collab cafe stuff we had while we were in Japan, like the food was like okay. It wasn't like super outstanding. It wasn't bad, but it was decorated very pretty. That was the main draw. So the hot dog was just a regular hot dog. It tasted normal. It had ketchup and mustard. The sausage was just regular grocery store variety sausage. The bread was just dyed black, so nothing special. The apple pie, I was quite impressed by the apple pie. I think it was better than like a grocery store apple pie. It was very sweet. It had all these extra fruits on the side, little star decorations on it. It had a little Vern wafer on it as well. I thought the wafer was cardboard. I thought it was like thin cardboard. I wasn't even sure if I could eat it. I was trying to save it, and then Kieran was like, "Why are you trying to save that? It's edible." And I'm like, "Really? It doesn't look edible." And then I hesitantly put it in my mouth, and it tasted like nothing. It tasted like if you go to church and get like the communion. It tasted like that. But I was like, okay, cool. The drink tasted like carbonated water. My drink looked so pretty. My drink was so pretty and blue, and it tasted like nothing. It just tasted like carbonated water. Even the jelly inside the drink tasted like nothing. But it looked very pretty, so I was like, okay, cool. Cool. So we have our meal, and we're like, okay, good. That wasted like 2 hours of time. We still have to wait around for the merch store to open. So now what do we do, right? So we're like, let's just walk around and see what's up, right? So we start walking around, and we've kind of seen everything. Mostly everything needs a line. There's like a lot of lines everywhere. So we're like, we don't want to wait in line for anything. We didn't have tickets for the VR experience. We didn't have tickets for any of the extra events. So like, what was there to do? There was a lot of cool stuff to see, but like to do, I guess there was stuff to do if you could read Japanese, but like, yeah, we didn't know what to do. So we just started wandering around and seeing if we can catch any of the cosplayers out in the open. Hey, Lone Wolf, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by and for being a froggy friend. Welcome in. So we start walking around, and oh yeah, this is the cup sleeve that I got, which is really nice actually. I'm glad I picked the Grand Lyria Jita Vern drink. It was quite a nice cup sleeve. I tried to take it off very carefully so I could bring it with me. So we found Vern. He was walking around. He was so cute. Jumbo Vern walking around, being very cute to all the passerbys. We saw him standing at the Grand Cipher station, and he was like high-fiving people, and there were like children there, so he was like shaking their hands and stuff like that too. Again, you know, he doesn't make noise, so he just kind of like waves his arms and jumps around. So here's a video. I think this video was taken by Lork. And look at how cute he is. He's like high-fiving the kids, he's posing, he's like bouncing. We see Vern a few times. I think he's the cosplayer we saw around the most. He was very short too. Whoever's in that suit is probably very short. So I think that I don't have confirmation of this, but I wonder if the cosplayer inside the Vern suit is also the cosplayer who does Wamdis, because the Wamdis cosplayer is also very short and she's very cute. But I don't know. We don't know who's in the Vern suit, but he was very, very nice. No, there was no buff Vern, unfortunately. I think it would have been funny if they had a buff Vern. So we wander around a little bit more, and then Kieran stops to use the washroom. While he's in the washroom, everyone starts like making noise, and everyone's like, whoa, what's going on? And then like the security guards like moving people aside, like, oh, there's a cosplayer coming. So we're like, who's coming? And lo and behold, there he is. Belial cosplayer is so good with his body language. Like, it's insane. That video was taken by Lork. I took a video too, but my video was from an non-optimal angle where like the light was washing out the silhouette, but it was really cool. So we saw Belial, and then so Kieran comes out afterwards, and he's like, we're like, Kieran, you just missed Belial, and he's like, damn. So we show him the videos, and so and then we resume walking around. Oh, so on stream, I forgot to include in my slideshow my video of the Belial cosplayer, so I'm gonna put that here on the YouTube version while I have this up. So lighting's not as good, a little blurry. Like, he moves so well. Every single movement of him screams Belial. It is incredible. Mad props to him. Hey Sue, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for stopping by. It's good to see you. And Rain, hello, hello. Welcome in. Oh, Ryan, hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome in. Please go check out our friend Ryan Respawns when you get a chance. He's a super cool streamer. He's also doing a charity donathon right now to help animals in need. So go check him out. Follow him on his social media, his Twitch, his Twitter. Go watch his streams. Go donate. He's super cool. Thanks for coming by, Ryan. It's good to see you. Hope you're doing well today. You were streaming some Valorant. That sounds like fun. Welcome in, Lancelot and Julu and Angel Player. Welcome in. Well, thanks for calling Kirby, Lord. Hope you guys are all doing well. I'm Kiro, the frog-themed martial artist. I am talking about my trip to Japan from last week, and we are talking about going to Granblue Fantasy Fest. So feel free to sit back and relax, or go take care of yourself after your stream. I appreciate you being here. Yeah, welcome in, welcome in. Thanks for stopping by. So we saw Belial. Kieran just came back from the washroom, and then we're like, okay, what do we do? So we're like, let's continue walking around, because again, we don't know what to do until the merch store opens for us. Okay, so we're walking around, and we're like, maybe we want to take a break from Granblue Fest. Maybe we want to go and get some fresh air outside and come back, because it's still like only, I guess, like close to 2 o'clock, and we got to come back at 4 or 5 o'clock to get a chance of getting merch. So we're like, what do we do? So I'm like, hey, I saw a big exit over there with a big exit sign and like fresh air. So like, let's go over there and we can go hang out and come back. So we start exiting, and we realize it's not actually an exit. So even though it says exit because the building, it's an exit, but they're using it to get people into the South Hall, and that's where the stage was. So we start going there, and we're like, oh, this isn't an exit. Do we want to keep walking this way? And we're like, yeah, let's keep walking and seeing what people are going to look at. So we're like, okay, the stage is this way. So we walk this way, and then eventually we get like funneled into the river of people. And then at that point, there's no turning back, right? The river of people is carrying us into the stage. And we're like, well, I guess we're going to the stage to check it out. So everyone's just standing around. So for the stage, the front area closest to the stage is sitting space, but you need to buy a ticket ahead of time to reserve your seat there. So then in the back, there's standing room only. So we kind of get like funneled into the standing room only at the back. And right now they're just playing videos on the screen, you know, event videos from Granblue, voiceovers of the characters. So nothing like super exciting. And we're like, okay, well, I guess we're here. So we're standing around. We're like, okay, what's going on? Something's going to happen on the stage. We just don't know what. We didn't check the schedule ahead of time, and it was also in Japanese. So we were thinking it might have been like the live letter, basically, where they talk about what's happening in the next year or like make their announcements. Or it could have been like I think the day before was already like the interview with the voice actors. So we're like, well, it's not that. So we're standing around, and we're like, okay, what's going to happen? Well, whatever happens, I guess we'll kill time here because we're stuck here anyways. So we're standing around, they're playing the videos. We're kind of in the back. There's one guy in front of me that's like really like a head taller than everyone else. So he's like in my way, but you know, I can kind of see. And there's like screens on the side that like are broadcasting because they're also live streaming this too, right? And so we're like, okay, what's going to happen? So the video stops playing. We wait a little bit. There's like an announcement, and we're like something's happening at 2 o'clock. And we're like, okay, well, it's almost 2 o'clock. So something's going to happen. surely it'll be interesting, right? And of course, again, we're standing, and there's no sitting space, so hopefully we're like, hopefully we don't get too tired because we've already been kind of on our feet all day. And Froggy Kale, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for following me and being a Froggy friend. Welcome in. So we're waiting, and then Lyria and Sherocart come out, and they start greeting us. And we're like, oh, like, is this one of the official cosplayer events, right? And so they come out and they start greeting everyone. They're saying hello, and I'm like, this is kind of my view from here. So my pictures aren't very good because, of course, it's just a phone camera, and there's like so many flashing lights everywhere, and so many people in the way. We're standing at the back in the corner, so we're here, and then Lyria and Shero like introduce what's happening, which we can't understand what they're saying because it's Japanese, and then the lights go off, and then suddenly, oh yeah, so again, this is all being live streamed, so I could not get great pictures from my phone, so for the slideshow, I actually went to look at the live stream, and I grabbed pictures or screenshots from the live stream. So all these pictures are from the live stream. This is not my view, but they were broadcasted on the screens as well. So I always find it so impressive because that means that people at the event there, are like, switching the screens and switching the views on the fly live. And that's like super impressive when you think about it. Everyone here was super impressive to think about all the people that come together to make this happen. Like you have the cosplayers, which are obviously the face of the event, showing everything off, and then you have like the technical people putting together all the pyrotechnics and the lighting, and the people doing like the live streaming, and the people like organizing everyone. Like it's super impressive, the whole thing. So I grabbed all my screenshots from this video from the Granblue channel. So the lights go off, and then here's a picture of them greeting us, a better picture than what I could get. So Lyria and Shero, they're super cute. So lights go off, and then bam! Suddenly, the Eternals are on the stage. So here we have Seox, Fior, and Sofan, or Six, Katra, and Siete, if you go by the Japanese names. And suddenly they start singing, or lip syncing, and we're like, oh, we stumbled into the concert. So by pure chance, we were walking by the stage, we decided to check it out, we got slipped into the crowd, and suddenly we were in the middle of a concert. So we're like, okay, this is fantastic. This is probably the most exciting thing that we could have come in to see. I wasn't sure if it was a concert, because I know the previous day, they already did the virtual concert, like the concert where they use the holograms. So we're like, oh, this is fantastic. This is very exciting to watch. It's not just listening and watching them like, read out announcements in Japanese that we can't understand. So they come out, it's like super cool. There's like the screens and the flashing lights and the pyrotechnics and the music going, and the cosplayers are doing a fantastic job. I just want to highlight how good the Seofan cosplayer is, just because like everyone knows Seofan has like a smug face, and he just has like the perfect eternal smug face. I know it's like makeup, like the way they adjust their eyebrows and like the contouring of the face and stuff, but he's just so good at making that smug face all the time. I'm just so impressed. All these cosplayers are super impressive because, like me, I don't think I'm ugly. I don't think I'm ugly, but I'm not photogenic. I'm definitely the type of person where if you want to take my photo and I want to look good, you gotta do it at like just the right angle. I gotta smile just right. If you take a candid picture of me, it probably doesn't turn out good. But these cosplayers, they are so good looking. Like, it doesn't matter what angle you catch them from. It doesn't matter what facial expression they're making. It doesn't matter which camera you're looking through. It doesn't matter which part of the live stream you're pausing at. It doesn't matter who's taking the pictures on their phone as they walk by. They just always look good. What must it like to be living like that? So they come by, they start singing, and it is a great show. And we're like, yes, everyone's cheering. They got their light sticks like flying through the air. And we're like, this is fantastic. We're here and we're at the concert, which is great because I kind of wanted to see a live event, but we didn't really plan ahead and we weren't really sure how to get into one. But it was just really walk in and get standing space, really. Yeah, and they have their outfits on, which must be like really hot. They have their capes. And so like obviously they practiced all this, but man, they are so good. And like, again, they're like lip syncing because these aren't the voice actors, right? So they're not the ones who sing the songs, but still, it's like very convincing. I was watching the live stream back and like all their mouth movements are synced up like really well. So next up, they finish their song and then suddenly, bam, fire. And suddenly we have the Soya boys out here. We have Rackham, we have Eugen, and we have Mr. Generic Face here. So apparently the Rackham cosplayer was supposed to be here, but he got sick. a couple days before Granblue Fest, so they had to cancel his appearances. So I think they got in Mr. Generic Face here, or Bob, or whatever you want to call him, to take his place, and he did a great job considering, like, obviously he's rehearsed this. I'm pretty sure the guy who plays the Generic Face Man is also the one who does Willness as well. So we didn't see Willness today, but I'm almost certain they list the cast on the website and tell who plays who and which roles they will play on which days. So anyways, he's here instead of Rackham. Kieran's confused because he thinks that's Rackham because he doesn't play Granblue that much. So he thinks that's actually Rackham for the longest time. So we have them singing Soya. There's like fire going on and there's like the drummers in the background. Honestly, huge props to the backup dancers. They are really cool and they don't get any like accolades or anything like that, but they are so cool playing those drums in the background, dancing, because of course if you're only dancing with like one or two people, it's not really enough, so the backup dancers really add a lot of flair to it. I think visually this was probably the most impressive looking performance, just because there was just so much fire going on. It was really cool. Next up, Sandophon comes out, and between every couple songs, Lyria and Sherokart usually come out just to say hi again. So Sandophon comes out, everyone's screaming. He has got the backup dancers. He's super handsome. He just has a new song. He's going around. He's got the face card. It's a really good song, and he does a really good job. Crowd goes wild. Sandophon's super popular, of course. At the end of the song, he also like walks up the staircase, and then the backup dancers pose, and there's like a single spotlight on him. He turns around, he like falls off the stage, and everyone's like, "Whoa!" You can go back and watch the video of it, but he falls off the back of the stage really elegantly, and everyone's like, "Whoa, that was so cool!" So, yeah, I think the backup dancers are supposed to be his wings because they're all dressed in white. I know the Sandophon cosplayer, when he's walking around taking pictures on the event floor, sometimes he'll walk around with his wings on, and it's huge. His wings are huge. I don't know how he walks around with those things. Sometimes he doesn't have them, but sometimes he does. So he's here. We didn't actually see him on the floor though. So he does his thing. He falls off the stage. Everyone's like, "Whoa!" And so I'm whispering to Kieran. I'm like, "Wow! Like we got really lucky. Not only did we walk into the concert, but it's all like the male songs. They're all like it's all the men performing." And then suddenly, bam! Like the first it's dark, and then you hear the music coming on, and then suddenly Narumaya appears. And if you guys know me, Narumaya is one of my least favorite characters in Granblue. I'm sorry. I know she's super popular, but like her song's a banger and her cosplayer is beautiful. And so she comes out, it's just Narumaya with backup dancers, and she does the song and she's really good at it. And so Kieran just immediately starts laughing at me, going like, "Hey, look, it's your favorite character." And I tell him to shut up, and we keep watching. But it's a really good performance. Next up, we have Lyria comes back out, and then she's joined by Clarice and Nier, and they do their song. And again, like everyone's so good in character. The Nier cosplayer was really good because she's supposed to be like shy and kind of yandere, so she's like constantly like covering up her face, but like in the perfect angles where you can still see her features and stuff like that too, and her emotions. She's like trying to be shy while also performing at the same time. By the time the song wraps up, she like shyly like covers her face and like scurries off the stage. So she's very cute, and again, they're all like very in character, and they're very good at it too. While they're performing, Mr. Generic Face Man comes back out as Santa Claus and starts throwing like presents into the crowd. And I think he can't throw that far. He's mostly like throwing in the immediate vicinity, which is the people who paid for the seated seats, not the standing room only seats at the back. So he's like coming out, he's like throwing stuff out. At this point, Kieran turns to me and goes like, "Wow, look at Rackham Santa." And I'm like, "Kieran, that's not Rackham." So he finally realizes that it wasn't Rackham this whole time. It was Bob or Mr. Generic Face Man or the referee or whatever you want to call him. But again, he's also the Willness cosplayer, so he's not new to this. But Kieran thinks this is Rackham the whole time because again, he's not super familiar with Granblue, and I thought that was really funny. Next up, suddenly the Dragon Knights appear. This one's quite a long song. It's almost like a two-parter. There's like a solemn portion, and then there's like a little bit of a role play, and then there's like a really like Valorant march section. Of course, they're all amazing. They have a whole bunch of backup dancers with flags dancing around. They're like waving the flags around. Everyone's cheering and screaming. They're, of course, really, really popular, really good. We already saw the Vayne and the Lancelot earlier. So here they are. Again, look at how good their face cards are. Their smiles are so perfect. They look good from every angle. It's not fair. They're so good. They're fantastic. So everyone's going wild. It's the Dragon Knight's time. Hello, Mumu. Welcome to the stream. And Mori, welcome in. Thank you so much for stopping by. So we're having a really good time. Next up, Seox and Nehan come out and they start doing their duet. They come from different sides of the stage down the stairs, and again, they're also really good at portraying their characters. I mean, everyone's really good at portraying their characters. Nehan is reserved. He's like walking with his cane, so he's like putting weight on only one foot. He's like pointing and gesturing. Seox is doing these like more acrobatic looking movements, and like he's always making sure that when he waves his arms in like the perfect angle towards the camera where you can still see his face and like his expressions and stuff like that too. They're really good. I couldn't really get any good, like, again, I was taking these screenshots off the live stream because I couldn't get a good picture on my phone, but even on the live stream, I couldn't really get a super good picture of these two standing next to each other because, again, it is kind of blurry at times, but like I try to get some pictures to really show you just how good that these guys are at their jobs. Like, they are so good at their jobs. They look fantastic. Yeah, like, think about all the training that these guys go through, right? Like, it's like performing, like the dancing, the lip syncing, like just looking good in general. Like, they are so talented. During the interview session after this, I think one of the questions during the interview was like, how do you recruit people for these things, right? And they have auditions, and they were saying like when they do the auditions, they look for people who, when they stand in front of them, they feel like they're in the presence of the actual Granblue character, which is how they recruit these people, and they're really good at it too. Next up, Lyria and Shiro come back out and they start dancing and doing the Lyria's Journal song as well. And lots of flashy lights. There's like a lot of fun pictures on the screen. There's like chibis of Lyria and Shiro dancing on the screen behind them. And then finally at the end, all these like streamers burst and all these like streamers go flying into the crowd. Everyone's cheering. It's really fun. So you can see here, this is all like the standing, or here's all the sitting seats at the front, and then all the standing room seats behind this aisle here. There's like the people with the cameras scurrying around trying to get the perfect shots for the live stream and stuff like that too. There's screens on the side. There's stairs coming down for the people to enter and stuff. It's quite the venue. And again, this whole stage is a temporary stage. They set this up. This is just an empty event hall, so they hauled in this stage and set everything up themselves, which I think is super impressive. So like, these are the photos I took, so you can definitely tell these are not as good because of where we were standing. There's like the guy with the one dude who's like a head taller than everyone, who's constantly in my field of view. The lights, you can see here how they turn out on the camera. It's like psychedelic lights blasting out at us. It looks really cool. It was really fun. So Lyria and Shiro come out, they wrap up the event, and then it's time to go. So people start filing out and leaving, but if you want, you can stick around because then they have the interview with the developer coming up in the next like 20 minutes. But we weren't really interested in doing that. Plus, we wanted to go get some fresh air. So we start filing out. Everyone's picking the streamers up off the ground. And I thought they were just normal streamers. I thought they were just like dollar store generic streamers. But Kieran kind of wants a streamer. So I spy one on the ground. Because like the second the streamers came out, people were like madly like grabbing them out of the air. I saw people like, depending on where you're standing, some of them landed better. So I saw people like grabbing handfuls of the streamers that like it landed at their feet. Where we were standing, there were not any streamers. So I scour the area and I find a streamer and I go grab it for Kieran, and then we pick it up, and then turns out the streamers are actually not just generic run-of-the-mill streamers. They are like signed streamers. I mean, obviously these are just like photocopied signatures, but they're signed streamers, like custom signed streamers. So I grab a red one, or I grab a green one for Kieran, and then we grab a red one, and we find out that the green one has the Eternal signatures on it. So we have Seofan, Six, and Fior. Actually, now that I look at it, it's weird that they signed their names in English, but Six Seox used his Japanese name, Six, but Seofan and Fior used their English names instead of Siete and Katra. Anyway, so I grab the green one, which is the Eternals. I grab a red one, which is the Dragon Knights. The red one has Vayne, Siegfried, Lancelot, and Percival on it. And then, so we give the red one to Kieran because he wants the Dragon Knights one. And then as we keep walking, there's a very nice gentleman who's standing on the other side of the little fence, holding out his hand with a blue ribbon, shaking it, basically like saying like, here, take this, and everyone's just walking past him, not picking it up. So I take him up on the offer. So thank you. So I grab the streamer. Very nice gentleman. He smiles and waves. And I get the blue ribbon as well. So the blue ribbon has Lyria, Shero, Narmaya, Clarice, and Nier on it. So like I grab the blue one, and then Kieran's like, whoa, who's on it? So we grab the ribbon, and then Kieran goes, ha, Narmaya. He says it really loud. He goes, ha, Narmaya. And then like there's this Japanese girl walking in front of us, very meek, holding her merch or whatever. And I think she hears him say Narmaya. So she turns around and just hands Kieran a blue ribbon without saying a word, and then just turns around and like scuttles off. Very nice of her. I think she thought that he wanted the Narmaya ribbon. So Kieran's laughing because it's hilarious, but like he gets a blue ribbon as well. So it was really nice. The people here are all just so nice. So we get these ribbons to take home with us, and they were cool. So yeah. AV, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. So we go outside and we're tired. We've been standing for hours. Our legs hurt, so we try to find a place to sit down. We find some benches. There's a couple seats available, so we rotate and we take turns sitting on the bench and deciding what we're going to do. Since we didn't leave the venue, we still have to wait for 4 o'clock for the merch lineup, right? So we're like, well, we can't leave now. It's getting close to 4. We don't know when the merch lineup's going to open for everyone, right? He said 4 or 5 o'clock, but we actually don't know when. So we're waiting. We rest for a little while. We hear the next event happening on the stage, which is like the interview with the producer or whatever. So we're like, okay, let's start walking around again, see if we can catch any of the cosplayers. So we walk around and we find the stamp booth. There's a stamp booth where you can like stamp the Granblue Fest stamp. So Kieran and Lork brought their like journals, so they stamped their journals. I don't have anything to stamp, so I stamped my coasters that I got from the cafe, which is probably a bad idea because I later found out that when I stamped the coasters, I hastily put them back in my bag, and one of them, the stamp was still kind of wet-ish, so the stamp on the back of Jita's coaster got a little smudge, and then it smudged onto Vern's face. So my Vern coaster has a smudge on his face, unfortunately. But luckily, Gran is untouched, and that's all I care about, but I shouldn't have shoved them in my bag so quick. But the reason why I shoved them in my bag so quick was because something happened to us. So while we were stamping, right, and we're like discussing what to do in English, we're approached by 2 other fans. They come up to us, clearly hearing us speak in English, and they ask us in English too, like, hey, like, we see you're speaking English, we're trying to do the stamp rally, and are you doing the stamp rally as well? Because we're stuck on this trivia question and like where to go. And we're like, we're not doing the stamp rally. We don't know how to get it working. We could barely get Sky Compass working. We can't help you, unfortunately. So we get into a conversation with them. They're very nice. And we tell them about how like we're scoping out the merch booth and waiting for the time that we can go and pick up some merch from the non-appointment time era. And told them how difficult it was for us to make the appointment. And they're like, oh, really? We were able to make appointments really easily. And I guess they did it earlier in the day, like, or at the end of yesterday. So again, we were late on the uptake because we got here late and we were only here for day 2. And so like, we're like, oh, was it easy for you guys? And then they're like, yeah, we were able to get it. And so it turns out that between the 2 of them, one of them was actually a Granblue player, and the other one was just their friend who was accompanying them on this trip. They were doing other things around in Tokyo too, of course, but the other friend was not a Granblue player. So they very kindly say, hey, you can have their appointment because they're just going to go in and look. They're not even going to buy anything. So we're like, really? Are you sure? And we're like, yeah, we would love that. So again, I told you, like the fates smiled upon us, and everything we did by like the breath of a hair, getting by with the skin of our teeth. So we're like, yes, please. So they say, okay, our appointment is at like 4:40, so let's meet it back here at 4:30 and get ready. So we're like, okay, yes, thank you. You are the saviors. So perfect. So we don't really know how this appointment thing works. So we're like, okay, with their appointment, I think we assume that only lets one person in per appointment and not like a group of us, right? So we're like, okay, between the 3 of us, I have the most stuff to buy because Kieran was just planning on looking and buying 1 or 2 things. Lork had a couple things, but I was like, again, I was buying things for like 2 or 3 people who gave me lists of things to buy ahead of time, and I wanted to buy stuff on my own. So we gather and we decide what we want to buy. So I'm now taking on Kieran and Lork's shopping lists in addition to my shopping list and the shopping list I have for like 3 other people. So I have to make an organized list of all the things I want to get. So we're like, okay, we're gonna prepare for this. So we're like, okay, so we gotta wait until 4:30. Let's just walk around the venue again and see if we can find any cosplayers. So we walk around and we see a bunch of people gathering. We see the security guards moving people around. So we're like, okay, some cosplayers are coming. So we come and we line up and we wait for a while. I'm tired of holding up my phone camera out because I'm like, I don't want to turn it on until they're out, but I don't want to miss anything. But I'm like, I don't know when they're going to come out. Like the security guards move the line a couple times. So we all shift a couple times and we wait and we wait and we wait. And then finally, the Zoe cosplayer pops her head out and waves at us. And we're like, oh, Zoe's coming. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, Zoe's not my favorite character, but, we saw a cosplayer. And so she waves. And then, the entire crowd has made an entire path for her to walk through. So she comes out with a couple security guards. She waves. And then she, diverges out of the line that we've made for her. And we're like, oh, what's she doing? And I thought it was a bit. Because, Zoe's, the keeper of order. And I thought maybe, I don't know, it was, she was being chaotic or whatever. But turns out that she was just moving from one exit to another. And then so she came out. It looked like there was an entire path out for her. She poked her head out and then she just kind of cut out of the path we made for her and then disappeared behind a black curtain with some security guards. So we're like, oh. But the security guards were still keeping us in line. So we're like, oh, someone's surely coming. So we keep waiting and waiting and waiting. And then finally, the cosplayers come out. And it's the Zodiac girls. So I managed to get a video of them. It's Paella, Vikala, and Kumbira. So they come out, they're super cute. Oh, and Vajra. Yeah, so they come out, they're super cute. Not my favorite characters, but still, I'm glad I saw Vicky though, because she is my favorite Zodiac along with Mahira, and there's no Mahira cosplayer. So some people stick around and start taking pictures of them on the stage. We continue walking around and we bump into the Vern cosplayer again. So we go and follow the Vern cosplayer and watch him being really cute. He waves at us, he gives us high fives. At one point, he even walks behind him and points at the timeline. And he specifically points at, I kid you not, he points at Valentine's Wellness. He turns around, he looks at the timeline, and then he points specifically at Valentine's Wellness. And if you are a Granblue player, you know Valentine's Wellness, he has his butt out. And so he points at it, and then eventually the security guards tell Vern it's time for him to go. He does a fake out on them and then high fives all of us. And then he finally leaves. So finally, lo and behold, it is 4:30. It's time to buy merch. So we meet up with our friends, our new friends, and we line up, and I have to grab the friend's phone because I need their phone for a QR code to scan my appointment. So we get to the front, and they scan my appointment, it goes through. So perfect. And then so I don't want to hold on to this person's phone for too long, so I pass them back their phone over the barricade, and then we keep going. Little do we know, we walk a bit further, and we find out I need the phone a second time to scan the appointment a second time. So I run back and quickly wave at them, hey, I need your phone again. So I grab the phone, and then we go back in line, and then we scan the QR code. And just like with buying stuff at the cafe, it's pretty straightforward because they give you a checklist with the prices and the names in Japanese, but then you can go to the actual exhibit and find the item and check off which ones that you want and what quantity. Now, the thing is, some items have a limited quantity. So some is you can only buy 2 max of this. You can only buy 5 max of this. And some of the items were sold out. So I'm trying to do this efficiently as possible because I'm buying for like 6 people at this point. So meanwhile, our other friend who's with us is doing their shopping and they only have a couple items, so I split off from them so we can reconvene back at the exit. Let's spend some time and look at the goods that they were selling because I think they had a lot of really cool merch at the festival. So go to the website, goods. So if you want to buy the art book, you can buy the art book from Granblue Fest, and there's 2 books, and they come together in a package. So there's a small art book that has like all the artwork, including the ones on the back of the gate that I showed you earlier, and then there's like a large art book which also has like interviews with the characters about what they were doing prior to Granblue Fest, like in character interviews with the characters. There's like information about the booths. There's like a bunch of other things, but they're written in Japanese. So they come as a set. And again, this is the key art, so you'll see it everywhere. There's t-shirts you can get. There's also like standees of each individual character from the artwork. So all the characters featured in that overall artwork are there. And you can actually buy the stuff online now if it's not sold out, but you will need a proxy to order it. But you can buy out all the extra stock in here for a while until they close the orders. So here's the standees for all the characters in the key art. They all look really good. There's like I think there's like a poster, like a card with the key art on it. There's like bags and tins and banners and all sorts of things with the key art. There's t-shirts with various characters. There's a Grimnir t-shirt. There's a Naramaya t-shirt in different sizes. And again, the nice thing is they're on display behind the glass cabinet, so you can actually look at these items. Hey, Ditsunol, welcome in. Thanks for the stretch. And then there's like this cute like dragon merch with like the chibi versions of the dragons. So you have like Derpy Galleon, Derpy Wilness, Derpy Wamdis. There's like little towels, little shirts. I love Granblue merch because they are so creative with it, but like in a practical sense sometimes, and they just look really good. There's these like little plastic acrylics that are the characters like asleep that like can rock back and forth. Now I did find out quickly that any item here that shows multiple items in it, this is a blind box. So all these are blind boxes. So the blind box items, you can buy up to maximum 20 of them. There's these little standees of these characters like lounging around. So I quickly find out that a lot of these are blind boxes. There's some like holographic summer artwork standees of some characters. So Aglovale, Vikala, Beelzebub, Fjord, Zoe, Wamdis. Again, more blind box stuff. There's like bottle caps. So these are volume 6 of the little nameplates. So in Granblue, these are like the party icons. So the idea is, again, these are blind box, but you get them and you can get these keychains of the party characters. And then there's another keychain. I didn't see them selling it here, but there's another keychain where it holds 3 of these things at once. So you could basically form a party of your favorite characters. But again, these are blind box, so I didn't want to pay for any of these. These are some characters who've been released recently or recently got their nameplates made into these. There's these like wax seal keychains of like the stickers you can use during raid, which unfortunately again were blind box. I know Lork wanted some of these, but they're random. Little keychains of some of the Zodiac characters. These keychains are cute. The like concert outfits for the dragons. Howie is so cute because he's just a cat. Luckily, these are not blind box. There's like fancy keys with the character signatures on them, modeled after certain characters. Like this one's Eoyar, so it's just like a paw print. Indala here. Oh, like really cool looking merch. Of course, these ones are more pricey. But I love how they can take characters and turn them into keys. Like for example, this one's Fjord's, and the design here is like the shape of the attack of the swipes of his sword. Like I love how they can take characters like symbolism and turn them into these like, you know, merch that doesn't look like merch unless you know what it is kind of thing. I love it when they do that. Like subtle merch, right? So you can hide being a weeb. There's some this is the surprise ticket artwork, cards. Again, this is blind box. Anything that has like more than one thing in the picture is a blind box. This is a calendar. This one's really cute too. Derpy Galleon with Vern. Oh, look at this. He's like Derpy Galleon's wrapped in a Christmas wreath. More special artwork, blind box stuff. This is mostly like event artwork. Like a bookmark stencil. There's these like cute like passport style photos stickers of various characters. We have Sandalphon, we have Lucio, Eliel, Lucilius. Lucilius was sold out on this one, of course. And then there's plushies. There's also like perfumes and like scents and seasonings. Like this one's a for your meat. It's like trail mix. Or no, it goes in your tea. That makes more sense. These are plates. Well, there's a lot of plates. They're all girls. There's cups. Again, it's like subtle merch because this one doesn't directly show you the character, but it has a lot of the character attributes on it. More derpy dragons. Oh, near Dakimakura. Oh, these are really cute. These are like the Vern mittens. They're so cute. I was really tempted to get one of these, but I had to hold myself back because I was already buying so much stuff. I made so many purchases. Cute like caps. Oh, it's like a little like tissue pouch. What is it? It's like it's a pillow. It's a pillow that has a blanket inside of it. We have like stress toys of the dragons. I was actually really tempted to get some of these too. They're really cute. Derpy Galleon is just so funny. Oh, this is really cool. You can get like a sky map of the Granblue world. This one's really cool too. Raziel's a book light. It's like a book, but when you open it up, it's actually a lamp. This was really cool, actually. These are like light up photo frames with the Valentine's or White Day artwork for these characters with different like lighting settings. Of course, they just picked the popular angel characters for that. Oh, and Galleon and Vikala. This one was really cool. They were sold out of this, and I wanted one, and we wanted to get one for a friend. This is like the rainbow crystal that appears when you summon in Granblue, and then it's actually like a lamp. And you can set the different colors and stuff. This would have been really cool as a centerpiece for like a display for your favorite character. they were sold out, and I understand why. These are really cool. There's like Ita bags. These were also sold out. It was like luggage. If you want like Granblue branded like luggage, I guess this is your place to get it. Oh, these are aprons. Oh, these are the perfumes. Yeah. And they come with a little necklace. That's kind of cool. Again, it's like subtle merch because it doesn't directly show the character. Hey, Vice, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. It's great to see you. Oh, so these are the expensive picture frames. Oh, and this is like well, these are like lucky envelopes. Oh no, they had like little pins or like little decorative things inside them. That's cool. These were like the expensive photo like picture frames. Like you're mostly paying for the frame and like 25,000 yen if you want like the nice frame picture, but they only had a couple pictures available. Kind of interesting which ones they picked. Like I guess this makes sense to me because this is like very nice looking art of Nehan, but then for some reason one of the other ones was like Halloween Lancelot. I know he came out like recently, but like it just seems odd to have like specifically just the Halloween artwork as a frame picture, but it did look very nice. Oh, these were the light sticks. You could change the colors. These were the things that people were waving during the concert. Which we did not have these, but... This one was really cool. This is a wood-crafted Grand Cipher, like one of those wood puzzles. Again, one of the more expensive purchases, but it's pretty cool. Hey Supreme, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, this is like a pocket watch. It's like a towel. So a couple of my friends asked me to get some of these. They're like acrylics of some of the summer artwork. These are smaller than the other acrylic standees, but turns out, again, surprise, surprise, these are blind boxes. So I had to tell my friends, unfortunately, I'm not buying these blind boxes. You can tell immediately they're blind boxes also because when you look on the merch sheet, it does tell you, again, there's a limit of 20 instead of a limit of 2 or 5, like some of the other items. Which I guess is why it's so important they have appointments too. That's why they couldn't bend the rules and like let us poor foreigners in and get a manual appointment. I do wish there was a way that you could do like an appointment just on like a sign-up sheet too instead of just doing it only through the app, but I understand why. These are really nice standees too. These are Valentine standees of the Dragon Knights, or the White Day standees of the Dragon Knights with their White Day artwork. Some like little pins. The Sandalphon's like concert outfit. This is volume 5 of the character nameplates. Again, blind boxes. More blind box raid stickers. These are blind boxes of the CD covers. Oh, they come with like tiny little CDs inside them. That's cute. Again, blind box. Cards of the Zodiac characters. Blind box away. Oh, these are like tarot cards of the evokers. These are little like mini film reels of certain Granblue events and animations. These are the passport photos, but for the Dragon Knights. I think these are merch from last year's Granblue Fest they brought back. I love the expressions on these. They're so cute. Vern plushie. These like headbands you can wear. Put on your plushies. This one's cute. Yeah, so these ones are for your plushies, not for you. They're too small. The color ears. Look at the little belly. Look at his smug expression. Hey Leon, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. More seasoning. This one's like the rainbow shrimp furikake. This one's the bonito one. Yeah, like the merch is so funny. Oh, or Lajaya cup. This one's super cute. It's a Joy collapsible like box. Joy is so cute. I love Joy. It's like a hand mirror. Well, this one's like a waste paper basket. This one's a book that you can put stuff in. More blind box stuff. These are more of the White Day or Valentine's Day artwork for certain select characters. What must be like to actually have a favorite Granblue character who actually gets a lot of merch? Can't be me. More randomized art cards. So like patches that you can sew on. More blind box summer acrylics. More blind box surprise ticket artwork. And our Karam artwork. There's a front side and a back side, I guess. Yeah, everything's blind box. Like the more I looked at it, I was like, oh, these are all blind box. Which I guess saved my wallet and saved my luggage space, but damn. These ones are pretty nice too. These are like Granblue Fest and like anniversary artworks. Oh, these are all from Heart of the Sun event. And these are really cool too, little chibis, these characters, but blind boxes again. They're like little acrylics. I would have liked to have the Vayne one here. Maybe the Eustace one and the 6 too, but and the Sound of one. Actually, I like a lot of these characters, but blind boxes not for me. More White Day and Valentine's Day artwork. More randomized photo cards. It's like a dry erase board. Yeah, these are so cute and practical. I think these are lucky envelopes. See, I love the Vern one. And there's Demon Bream and Eta. This one's really cute. This is like a lint roller for your cat with the EWR holder. These are like key holders. Oh, this is like a desk mat. There's a Ursula money pouch. More blind boxes. More acrylics. More blind box keychains with cute artwork. Let's go gambling, guys. These are so cute, though. Well, these are the enemy. Oh, these are the Manachurias. More art cards. More blind boxes. Cups. Oh, these are fun. These are like hair clips with Belial. These are really cute. I was really tempted for some of these. Little like bottle Vern dioramas. Oh, some toques. Oh, this is a sketchbook. These are like stickers. Little like Vern plushie and a little omelet pouch. This is based after one of the items from the Grand Cypher Kitchen, which we'll see in a later stream. Oh, this is the keychain that lets you like link 3 characters together and make a party from the blind boxes. This is like a passport holder. Oh, these hats are so cute. This is like the Wamdis ears. Galleon. Oh, these are the masks. So we have like the... Oh, they don't have photos of what these actually look like. Yeah, so many people were wearing the Wamdis ears. So there's like a Robomi, Siegfried mask, Vasaraga mask. What is this one? This one's so cute. Why does he have a tiny body? Does he hang out the back when you wear him? This one's so funny. It's Charlotta's crown as a hairpin. This is actually really cute. You wear the horn here. Oh, these ones actually have pictures of these masks. Nehan's mask. Vern's mask. I think this one's so funny, the Luchador one. I was actually tempted to get one, but I was like, am I going to ever use this? No. A lot of people were wearing these, too. A lot of people wearing the Vern ears, the... I didn't see too many people wearing the Cagliostro one. Actually, there's not very much Cagliostro merch. This is a Vanya. This is Jaxiel. Oh, that's the end of the merch. So yeah, again, like some of these you can, if they're not out of stock, you can also still buy them online with a proxy, but yeah, so this is what I was lining up for. This is what I was lining up to buy merch for. Night, Yule. Thanks for coming to the stream. Take care. Hope you feel better soon. Magnus, welcome in. Thanks for dropping by. It's good to see you. Welcome in. Welcome in. Okay, so back to buying merch. So I finally get in line. I did the two-factor authentication with our new friend's phone. And so just like the cafe, they give you the checklist, they give you pictures of all the things, they give you the display case, and then you get to go around and peruse and start checking things off. So I take a sweep up and down the gallery. I am checking off the things that I want for myself. I'm checking off the things I want for Kieran, for Lork, for my like 3 friends back at home. It's hard to keep track because my checklist only has a Japanese name, so I know what they are as I'm checking them off, but I need to remember mentally which ones I've already checked off and which ones I haven't. Also, this is where I found out a lot of things were blind box, so I was like, oh, I can't get that. Oh, I can't get that one. Oh, I can't get that one, because they're all blind boxes. So, and then there was also like a billboard at the front that showed you what the items were just on a big spread, and this is where they put the sold out signs on the ones that were sold out. So again, there were quite a few of the female merch was sold out, not too much of the male merch with a couple exceptions, and then there was like the rainbow crystal was gone, the Icha bags were gone, but for the most part a lot of the stuff was in stock, which is great, especially since we got there with one of like the later appointments in the day. So once you get your checklist, what you do is you line up and then you go to a booth and then you hand them the checklist. Well, actually, they take the checklist earlier, they rip the checklist, and you keep the number in the corner. So you you go and line up, and then they take your checklist in the back, and then the designated shoppers in the back will fill up your basket with what you need. And then you go up to the counter and you show them your number. So you say, like, I'm ticket number whatever, and then they go find your basket. And so I had a very long list because, again, I was buying for like 6 people. So my list was super long. So I was standing there waiting for a while because it took them a while to gather all the items. I felt kind of bad. And the lady in front of me was very nice, and she kept apologizing that it was taking so long. And I was like, no, it's fine. So the designated shopper comes back with the basket with all the stuff. And so what they do is then they very slowly, one by one, take the items out of the basket, show you them to make sure that they're there, and then you check them off the list. So she'll pull them out and be like, oh, you ordered one number 50, and then you go to your list and you go to number 50 and you check off to say that it's there, and they put it in another basket. So I find that everywhere I went in Japan, they were just in general very respectful about this. Whenever you bought anything, they always made sure to like notify you what the price was. They would show you as they scan them, like one by one, to just make sure that yes, this is what you're buying and this is exactly how much it is. Like, it was very respectful. And like whenever you paid for something with like cash, they would also count out your change in front of you and show it to you to make sure it's the right amount. Like, and I just found that was a very nice gesture that they did. That was pretty universal across everywhere I went. So I tell the lady in like my broken Japanese that I don't really speak Japanese. So because they're calling out the numbers in Japanese, right? And I want to check them off, and I want to make sure I'm checking them off right. So I tell her, oh, I'm not very good at Japanese. So she goes, no, it's okay. So she starts calling the numbers out in English, and she is so sweet. Every time she calls a number, she's just so like cheerful. She'd be like, number 50. 1, yay! And then I would check it off, and she would like make a show of putting it in the basket, like number 25, 1, check it, yay! So we went through that, and I bought so much stuff. So it took a while to go through, especially when some of the items I bought were more than one. So some of my friends asked me to buy multiple of the same items. So some of the items I had to make a decision on who to give it to, because I was like, okay, I was limited to only buying 2 of these things. I had 3 friends that wanted it. I need to figure out who got what. So I tried to distribute it so everyone at least got like some of the things they wanted, because not everyone was able to get everything they wanted because I was only one shopper. So we check it all off. Everything's good. She puts it all in one basket. She asks me if I want a bag. She goes like, oh, 1 bag. And then she looks at me again, looks at all my stuff, and she goes, 2 bags. So she gives me 2 bags, and I pay, and then I take my basket, and then there's like a table at the end where you unload your basket and put it in the bag. So I brought my backpack on that day because I knew I'd be buying a lot. So I took all my stuff, I put it in the bag, I put it in my backpack, and then I leave the line, and I rejoin Kieran, Lork, and our 2 new friends. And they're like, Kieran, what took so long? Like, we were worried. And then Kieran got worried because he saw me approaching them with nothing in my hand. So he's like, did something happen? Were you unable to buy things? I was like, no, I just put it all in my backpack. My backpack was stuffed, brimming with all the stuff that I bought. And it was very nice because our 2 new friends that we met, who are from France, by the way, they were from France, who gave us the appointment time, waited for me, even though they didn't have to, because they literally only bought like a couple things. And meanwhile, here I come with like a whole stack of items that takes forever to go through. But they waited for us and chit-chatted, and we said goodbye to them and thanked them. It was very nice. They were super cool. Big shout out to our new friend. I added them on Granblue, and I think Kieran added them on Twitter. Shout out to my new friend Grimnir69. That's their username. Thank you, Grimnir69 and friend. You are the true heroes of this trip. Thank you, Grimnir69. Everyone thank Grimnir69. So here's my merch haul after I've given some of the items to the friends that I bought them for. So in the middle here, we have the big Granblue Fest art book, and then on the right, we have the small art book. Those come together in a pair, so you get the middle item and the bottom right item together. On the left side, I have the free pamphlet they gave everyone. This is the thing that has your free item code in it. In the top right, they gave everyone like this pack of tissues or pack of napkins with like decoration on them with like Lyria and Fairy on them. So we got that. And then here's also the wristband. The wristband was kind of cool. It was a cool color. This was also the thing that came with the free goodie bag. It's like the trivia quiz for the stamp rally / trivia thing. Again, you have to do it through like Skyleap and Sky Compass, and it was all in Japanese, so we didn't even bother, but apparently you can get some prizes from it. Here's some of the standees I bought for both me and some friends. I got the Gran one, I got Noah, I got Basara. I had to take all these pictures after I got home too. There wasn't really any space in the Airbnb to lay everything out, so I had to wait till I got home. And I don't really have a nice table to lay everything out, so this is just on my carpet with the best lighting I could try to get. I didn't have time to edit. I was gonna edit all the pictures and adjust the lighting. I was like, I don't have time for that. I got the Lancelot and the Vayne standees for me and a couple friends. I got the Joy box. It was just so cute. I couldn't say no to my boy Joy. He is so cute. And I also got the woodcut Grand Cipher, which again was an expensive purchase, but I think it's super cool. And I think it'd be super cool to do like a hand can stream with this one day. But unfortunately, I don't have the space or the setup or the tools right now to do a hand cam stream. Maybe not even the confidence yet. We'll see. So this is like the far-flung future. I'm keeping this. One day we will build this thing on stream. It'll be really cool. Got some keychains. I got Wilness. I got Seox. I felt like it was wrong to get Seox and not Nehan, so I got both of them. I was like, why not? I'm here. I got some of the passport photo cards for some of my friends. Everyone wanted the Vayne one, so I had to make a decision on who to give those to. I was unable to find the Lucilius one for my friends, so I got a Lucio one instead for them. For now, you will see later on that I later find the Lucilius one in a second-hand shop and I buy one for my friend. Oh yeah, so on our way out, we also spot the Grand Cipher crew on top of the stage. We have Eugen, Vera, Catalina, Lyria. We didn't really get a good picture of them. There were a lot of people crowding around and we were on our way out. I saw a lot of videos online later of... I love the videos of Catalina and Vera, because the Vera cosplayer is so good at giving you death stares. There's so many funny videos of people, like, waving at Catalina. Hi, Catalina! And they make heart hands at her, and she'll come over and wave at them, and then Vera will come and, like, push her aside and stand in her way and, like, give you a death stare for being nice to Catalina. There's so many videos of that on Twitter. You can probably find them, but I wish I saw it in person, but the Vera cosplayer is very good at that. So all in all, really successful day, and we were able to buy our merch. Thank you so much again, Grimnir69. You saved the day. So now Granblue Fest was wrapping up. We wanted to go get some food. Odaiba was nearby, so we went to Odaiba, specifically Diver City, which is a mall. So yeah, that was only part one of day one. We're like over 2 hours in the stream, and I've only gone through part one of day one. That's why I said this would probably take multiple streams to go through. But Granblue Fest is one of the longer days, so I think they get shorter as we go along. So we get to Odaiba and we go to Diver City. This is a big mall. There's like a giant Gundam outside of it. That's one of the landmarks. It's dark. It's night sky. It's pretty. Across the street is also Aqua City, which is another mall, but that one's more for like restaurants and food. And Kieran knew of a place in Diver City that we want to go get food at, so we decided to go to Diver City. So we go to this place called Sushi Premium. It's one of those places where you order the sushi. We actually go to a lot of places where you order sushi on a tablet, and those tablets that have English, which is really nice for us foreigners. And then the sushi comes to you on a little train. And again, like the food is so cheap compared to America. My gosh, you can buy all the sushi. Everything's like really low price. Almost everything's like the same price. It's like just a couple dollars each for all these fancy sushis. Back at home, you would have to pay quite a bit for it. So we were having quite a time picking out. So the sushi would come to us on the little trains. Here's a couple of our first orders. We have some torched salmon with the mayonnaise, some scallops. I got a Wagyu beef blue steak thing. There was some eel, some tempura, some fried chicken. The one on the left here is like, they call them like battleship rolls, where they're just like the rolls and they put two different things on them. So mine had like crab and I can't remember what the other one is, but it was kind of cool because it had different temperatures on it. Like there was like, part of it was kind of cold and part of it was hot. And I really like that. Whenever I get poke bowls, I try to get ones where like there's cold ingredients and hot ingredients, and it feels kind of fun getting the temperature difference in your mouth. So I really like the, yeah, it was like crab meat and crab butter. It was called like double crab or something like that. And then the one on the right is a giant eel. And it was huge. The whole thing here is like folded in half. I've never had a piece of eel this big, and it was delicious. It tasted so different than any other eel I've had. It was it was softer. It felt more raw, but it was like the texture was different. It made all the other eel I've ever eaten in my life feel overcooked compared to this one. It was really good, and it just melted in your mouth. Like, it was very tasty. I've never had eel that good before. Most of the time when I get eel, it's because I like the unagi sauce, and the eel's like whatever, but this was delicious. And it was gigantic. And it took forever to get to us. We ordered it at the beginning of the meal, and it didn't come until like near the end. We were wondering if they forgot about it, but it was so worth it. It was so good. Got some like cheese balls, some scallops, some tempura. I got this like uh special shrimp. It wasn't ama ebi, but it tasted like ama ebi. But it came with this gigantic mint leaf, and I should have taken the mint leaf off because when I ate it, I just tasted mint. But the shrimp was good. And then we took a picture of this one because this one's funny. This one's sushi for corn freaks. Just kind of a funny translation of it. We didn't buy it though, but sushi for corn freaks. Afterwards, we walked around the mall, and there was the Gundam shop, the Gunpla shop, and it almost felt like a museum, which is really cool. So they had like all these displays with giant Gundams and cutouts of the characters and like the history of Gundam. A lot of really cool things in here. And I'm not a Gunpla person, but I could really respect it. And I grew up liking a lot of Gundam stuff too. I only owned like a couple of Gundams though as a kid because my parents didn't want to buy them for me. But so a lot of cool ones. There were like signed ones with like different celebrities and which ones like were their favorite or custom Gunplas, and there were signatures and autographs from the like voice actors and artists and stuff like that too. More displays of the characters with the cardboard cutouts and the Gundams. There was so much stuff here. It was really cool. I like all the little like haros they had. They did different haros and different colors you can get. They were very cute. There was a painting room which wasn't open at the time because it was late at night, but you can go and paint your Gundams. There was like the history of Gundam displays up. Like, again, really cool. A lot of different like artworks and dioramas of different Gundams doing like iconic scenes from the series. The one on the left here was a super cool display because you had like the photo doesn't do it justice, but you can see the waves crashing underneath, like the water spewing up like a geyser, the bullets flying, the missiles flying through the air, arching through with like the little yellow triangles. It was super cool. I also found my boy Kira Yamato. I don't think they were. I kind of wanted to buy the little acrylic standee of him, but I don't think they were selling it because it wasn't on the rack with the rest of the stuff. Even though there was like a price tag for, but presumably it was like a set. There's only one price tag here, but probably a good thing I didn't buy it because otherwise I would have been buying too much stuff on my trip. Especially because I spent so much that day just on Granblue already. My backpack was bursting. There was like a clothing shop area, more cardboard cutouts of my boy. More stuff. There was also a Minecraft store. We didn't go inside because we're not really Minecraft people, but it was kind of cool to see. There was an entire store for Minecraft. There were a lot of children going in and out of that one. There was like a bunch of areas for pop-up stores. So there was like a Godzilla store up there. There was also a Lashing Bang, which I'll talk about in a second. Oh, here. So Lashing Bang is like one of those places where you can like sell back your anime merch and then they resell it for markup. So we spent a bit of time looking around here. There was like a lot of VTuber stuff too, which again, I'm not really a corporate VTuber follower, but I was just surprised how much it was everywhere. And you'll see throughout the trip, they were everywhere. They were everywhere. The corpo VTubers, they were everywhere. But they had a lot of stuff. And of course, the nice thing about this is I'm not really into a lot of animes. So I'm only like looking for merch for games, and they're like niche games, like, like Tales or Granblue Fantasy, stuff like that too. So luckily, most of the stuff I could just pass over. But I took a lot of pictures of a lot of cool stuff I found in all these stores. This was crazy. We found these like Persona 3 like limited edition standees, and like they were so expensive. They were like 12,800 yen each. And this was like our first encounter with something that was like really expensive for something so small. But as the trip went on, we found more and more incredibly expensive, ridiculously expensive finds as well as we kept going. But like this was the first one we saw, and it only gets, this is actually, by comparison, now that I've seen the other things from the end of the trip, this seems tame, but that's crazy. That's like almost 128 Canadian dollars for this. So when we went to this place, we thought that the giant Gundam outside the mall had been taken down, and it wasn't at the entrance we came through. So when we were wandering around the mall looking for the way out and seeing what else there was, we passed by the food court and we saw the giant Gundam outside. We're like, wait, this thing's actually still here. So we went outside and we took a picture of it, and then there was like cool lighting and stuff like that too, and it was really cool to see there were a lot of people taking pictures of it. It was nighttime too, so the lights really stood out. I'm glad we found it, because again, we thought that they had decommissioned this thing. Oh, this is a new one. So the previous one was taken down, this is a new one. Cool. So yeah, we were like, okay, we got to see it. Because we were afraid that there was just nothing here. And we didn't know where it was, and we were also just kind of tired and wanted to go home. So we again, completely by chance, we're just walking by the food court and we saw this thing outside. So again, the fates smiled upon us and delivered upon us a chance encounter. We also stopped by, and Kieran insisted that we get these Crimea soft serve ice cream things, which he claims is like the best soft serve ice cream ever. And it was good. I would admit, it was really good. It was very smooth and tasty. I'm not sure if it was like the best soft serve ice cream ever, but it was good. But it only came in vanilla and chocolate. But, you know, I guess that's all you need. I'm more of a person that likes to pick fun different flavors, but it is very good. So we stopped for a little snack. Also, the food court was nice because almost all the food courts in Japan had like free water stations with little like disposable cups. The problem is the cups are really small, so I was really thirsty, so I had to like fill it up like 3 or 4 times, but I didn't want to hold up the line, so I'd like fill it up and then quickly drink it and get back in line afterwards to get my free water. But the food court was quite busy actually, despite the fact it was quite late at night.